poster of any
All right.
kind. Anyway.
We appear to be live.
Do we?
Indeed. Okay, so what's up, everyone? I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Davey Deathray.
I mean, Fuego here.
And this is the Horror Show News with
Booze.
I'm not gonna show what it's but hey.
Oh yeah, I guess I gave my
Yeah, that's alright, whatever. How's everyone doing today?
Any hooser.
We have a number of stories to talk about.
Indeed.
Let me pull up the stream so I can see the comments and
Yeah.
give
And
some
so-
people the time to filter in.
Yeah, and so this was a big thing because of the fact that last night I was out driving, doing this the labor, so to speak, and I was like, Cecil, there's a lot of really good.
I think I have an echo this time. There shouldn't be an echo this time.
Oh, we can see the comments right there.
Yeah, there you go.
My eyesight was good enough.
Not bad. Yeah.
Echo, echo, echo. Now batting.
And then let me pull up the stream here so we can make sure it's not
It's all part of the process,
Well,
folks.
hello, Mario.
skipping. Oh, I gotta type it in. Damn it.
Violin metal.
We're professionals here at the Horror Show channel. I think
Indeed.
that much is very clear.
Yes, I'm actually seeing the violin metal and suddenly thinking about violin punk, which was from Yellow Card for a brief period of time. Fueled by ramen in their initial inception, we are...
Oh, Fueled by Ramen used
All
to be
right,
awesome.
there.
Yeah, they
So-
did, dude.
All right, so this is what everyone is seeing. This should show us if there's any issues, though, and we got the chat there. Okay. Oh no, I gotta have this one right here. Can everyone hear us? Okay. The microphone sounding good.
Test, test,
There we go.
sibilance,
That's
sibilance.
Microphone check
That's
it
what
on
works.
two.
That works really well right there.
What are they building in there? They don't want us to know.
We got Tyler Adams in the chat.
What up, Tyler?
Yo,
The Flawed
yo.
Design. Good to see you guys. Movie Geek Dutch. Good to see you. Gene Whitcomb. Good to see you.
Gene.
Full Moon Watcher. I just popped a couple cherries there. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
All right.
That's not a
expanding
euphemism.
the effort.
Nope,
Not a
really.
euphemism. It's
Literally
not,
just did it.
not meant to be
Not
dirty.
as much effort as necessary, presumably.
It's a lot dirtier than I meant it. All right. So, we
Yes.
are here to discuss
Yes.
all the news that's fit to print as far as horror goes.
In the
and
month of June.
there's some big ones.
Yes.
And some
That's why I hit you up last night. I
Questionable
was just
ones.
like, dude, yeah, there's some very cathartic stuff, and there's actually some stuff that a lot of our contemporaries, most notably with regards to the Saw franchise, were like rolling their eyes.
Yeah,
I see you, Jason.
It's a little worrisome. All right,
Yeah.
so let's start off though with the first story. You should be super excited about this, right?
It's okay,
Davey?
you can touch me.
I
when
did.
you-
That was an
I'm
accident.
very-
It was an accident. I'm so sorry. Ew.
I get
Uh,
I get crazy about the Friday the 13th stuff. Like I
Yeah.
started covering it, I don't know, like 10 months ago. I think it was when they announced Brad Caleb Kane.
uh-huh.
So it was like last August or whenever it was.
Okay.
And at that point I was like, great, so you announced that you're another false start here with the series that was announced 2 years ago. And then I wanted them to, because we've had 3 Friday the 13th now since he was hired. And I just wanted them to really drop a sizable breadcrumb for us. But we just get these little things. And then with the Jason universe, it's like, you almost act like, are we just being trolled by these people?
Yeah. The fact that when I saw, Friday the 13th just happened, and you'd think that Jason Universe would have a whole bunch of things lined up to show us, and that we don't even know, right, what the Jason Universe endgame is. And then I saw, when this news dropped, I saw an article that said the centerpiece of the Jason Universe initiative is this sweet revenge Friday the 13th short film.
Yeah.
That's the end game?
When I saw the
Wait, you forgot,
clarification,
you
dude,
left off a big part.
I'm angry.
Sponsored by and co-produced by Angry Orchard Hard Cider.
Yeah.
Who plan to be
I thought-
involved.
yeah, I thought it was just a promotional tool,
And
honestly, right?
they plan
Wasn't
to
it?
be involved with the franchise moving forward, is like what the Bloody Disgusting article said. It's friggin' wild.
So all the
Well, I
all
mean,
the teens
Budweiser
are
and
drinking
Coors and-
Angry Orchard around the fire.
And it really is just, it's called Sweet Revenge, so they're also talking about the sweetness of the cider. It's not just like, oh, it's going to be a revenge movie with Jason Voorhees.
And so isn't it a nominal person behind it? Joe...
Mike P. Nelson, the same guy that
Nelson.
did the Silent Night, Deadly Night reboot. I think he did Wrong Turn.
Okay.
Wrong Turn 2.
Okay.
So yeah, we're getting a Friday the 13th short film because we just basically talk to each other instead of telling you guys what's going on.
Proper clarification.
Sweet Revenge. We don't know how long the short's meant to be. If it's going to be 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. I think if it was an hour, they would push towards calling it, a full length thing. Because I think 80 minutes or 70 minutes is the threshold. But yeah, so we don't know how long this is going to be. It's from a director that not everyone is super on board for, that's the centerpiece is just very confusing to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not the biggest. I'm not the most excited about this. Let's say.
No, and on the John Squires article that's on Bloody Disgusting, it says that it seems to be a glorified commercial. Is the terminology he used.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's from like inside info they have or just like the way he's feeling.
Well, they make glorified commercials, right? So I mean,
yeah, and like I guess I'm just curious. Like, am I when I see this stuff and I just sort of it irks me now.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Myers is my favorite out of the big three, but there's something where it's like I just have so much fun with Friday the 13th, and I want to see something more meaningful, not like just a bunch of like random products that don't seem to really be going after what any of the fans have been saying they want for 16 years now.
Well, and let's be honest. I mean, Michael Myers' story is done, right? So it's time to move on. There is no more Halloween.
It's not as interesting because you can't do a prequel without
I'm just saying,
spoiling
it's done.
stuff.
No, we just have to accept there's never going to be another Michael Myers movie ever.
He's sitting firmly on top of that mountain, and no one's going to make him budge. But with Jason, there's more potential.
Firmly? I wouldn't say he's firmly. If we got one movie from Jason or one
PC,
movie from Freddy,
if they were good,
he would be dethroned. I don't even think Freddy would have to be good. I think it would just. I think everyone would still go see it.
I guess we'll find out when the Black Phone 2 comes out.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, which appears to be
Freddy Krueger. It's just the entity's new form.
Yeah,
It
and even Joe Hill, as much as I love him, he's just like, they're actually going with a very understandable direction with this property.
But yeah,
make a movie.
When it comes to Friday the 13th, like I just know a lot of people want movies. That's what everyone's saying. They want to make sure it's the right thing. Like, maybe I'm just taking this too seriously and it's going to be, like, a funny commercial. Maybe, though, maybe it won't deliver as something that we really want to see, but when we see it, we'll be like, oh, they did a good job. Or they made me laugh. Or, I have no fucking clue. But when I met Malik Akkad at age 45, he told me that Dr. Pepper approached them about doing a Michael Myers commercial, and they wanted to make it funny. And his response was basically, fuck no.
Wait, okay, Movie Geek Dutch.
We don't make a joke.
Because Jason X was fucking funny, dude.
Yeah.
I love
this
Jason
could be good.
X.
Which director, which short did he do from VHS? Didn't he do, was it the Stork one? No, who did one of the fan films I'm featuring was done by the guy that made the Stork short. But someone said the director from VHS. So did Mike P. Nelson do one of the VHS shorts as well?
He might have, because I'm curious.
Let us know, Movie Geek Dutch,
Yeah,
if
please,
that's
man.
what you're saying. I'd be curious.
Proper clarification.
Get down, Rose. Oh, there you go, Robert. She finally got there.
Did you just call Davey?
VHS 85. Okay, so which one in VHS 85 did he do, Dutch? Can we just call you Dutch? Or should we call you Movie Geek? What do you prefer? I love Dutch the movie. Do you love that movie? That's a
really
great
good
Ed
one.
O'Neill movie.
It's like almost like a Thanksgiving kind of movie, right?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was called
Ed O'Neill and
Ed
O'Neill and Ethan Embry, the kid that ended up being in like Empire Records and all that.
Yeah.
He's a great snot. That's a really heartwarming, but yeah, that's a good one.
We didn't even put in here that they just broke the news yesterday, didn't they? That What's His Nuts is bringing Naru back for his next Predator movie.
If so, I did not toss that on.
Yeah, no,
I was
that just came out
working
yesterday.
last night and scrolling through Twitter.
Dan Trachtenberg, right?
Yeah, Trachtenberg. Yep, he's the one who has Badlands coming out in October. Also, Killer
Dan
or Be Killed. Yeah.
Naru.
Yes, Evil Alex. Dave McRae is in the background. You know, it's very costly to have him on here and not even talk.
Yeah,
but it's a little less expensive than having him talk because he charges by the word.
Yeah, so here,
and rightfully so.
Dan Trachtenberg has confirmed that Naru will return for his third live-action Predator movie.
Okay, so was that the girl from Prey?
Yeah, that's the girl from Prey that we saw on the ship at the end of the Killer of Killers.
Yeah, and she was in Novocaine.
But you know what that says to me? So, guys, imagine this. So, Naru, the Native American woman that went up against the Predator in Prey, and then we saw her also... She was Native American, right? I wasn't wrong about that? Okay.
Yes. I could tell you were like carefully
I didn't want to get canceled, bro. You never know. This world's a minefield.
Sorry, Cecil. As of yesterday, Native American is no longer...
Yeah, that is not acceptable,
What is it?
I don't know, because I'm not on TikTok enough, so I think I've missed it, too.
Yeah, I put on TikTok once a week.
Would they be the dotless?
I don't even
Is that
know.
how we'd... so anyway, but then we saw Naru at the end of Predator Killer of Killers in the ship in stasis, just like all the other people collected throughout time were. So wouldn't it be awesome if that movie is going to be a continuation of that story of that group of people from Killer of Killers, but in live action?
Oh, gotcha. Making the transition that way.
Yeah, because that's where Naru is, right?
Yeah.
If he's going to continue Naru's story, that's where we saw her last.
Bring those same characters.
Yeah. Give us the live action version of the samurai and the fucking Viking chick.
That's pretty cool.
That'd be dope as hell.
I think 20th Century Studios is going full shared universe like a motherfucker right now, dude. With Alien Earth.
Yeah, because the synths are in the Alien Earth.
Yep.
And then the Alien...
They're doing what Dark Horse did for years. So
Wayland Yutani or whatever is in the Predator universe, right?
Yeah.
So... that's...
So yeah, anyway, that's a sidestep, but yeah, we didn't end up putting that on here, so I wanted to touch on it, but...
Hell yeah.
So Sweet Revenge is silly. Like, that's, like, maybe it'll be good, but yeah, it does feel like it might be a glorified ad for Apple or whatever.
Irks me the wrong way, but...
Angry Orchard.
Yeah.
Like, it could be funny, it could be entertaining, like, hopefully you watch it and you're like, oh, that was cute, and had some fun...
What's up,
blood
Paula?
splatter moments.
Good to see you.
I mean, I know that's
Call me
them
Dutch,
trying
that's
to
okay.
like
Good.
drum up some interest.
It's just
Ethan is my hall pass. Hey,
Tyler,
good for you.
It's a soulless cash grab. That's
Ethan
what all of these Jason Universe things feel like.
Ethan looks crazy in that one metal movie. Which one was the one that Ethan Embry starred in? Where he was all tatted up.
Oh, fuck.
That's the one you like, right? Don't you like that
Devil's
one?
Candy.
Devil's Candy.
Great movie.
Yeah, great movie.
Great movie.
All right, so they should stasis. Yeah, Dutch could be on there too. Like that would make sense if they brought Arnold back to do that. Like,
could they also bring back Ed O'Neill's Dutch too?
If they did another Killer of Killers animated edition, Dutch could be on there and Arnold could voice it because we just saw Arnold voice something in was it? It wasn't the Amazon series, the game series, was it? Where he played.
Oh, I don't even know.
No, yeah,
he
did a voice.
Man.
No,
Yeah,
he couldn't be Dutch on camera anymore.
Yeah.
But if they went back and it was animated and it was Dutch that they went and recovered after the end of Predator, and it was that version, and they got Arnold to voice it. Because guys, what did Arnold voice in a recent thing? Was it the Secret Level? Was it one of the episodes of Secret Level? He played like in a medieval. He played like a medieval warrior.
Oh, okay.
Kind of thing. So. Let me know in the comments, guys. I know some of you will know what I'm talking about.
You son of a bitch.
But that's a good call, Evil Alex. Yeah, they should stasis Dutch and bring him back with a group fighting predators. Yeah, I agree. That's a great idea. This is Mike with the Nightmare on Elm Street project vehicle. Okay, what's up, man? Good to see you. All right, so let's move on then to the next story, which is more Mike P. Nelson. His Silent Night, Deadly Night reboot is finally going to arrive in December of this year. Which, I mean, Fuego and I had a lot more fun with the first movie than we anticipated we would. We did a first-time watch 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, and because neither of us had ever seen it. And I'd heard so much about it, and we finally sat down and did a first-time watch, and I was blown away at like how good it actually was, and I understood why it was so controversial back in the day. I haven't gotten around to watching any of the others yet, but I hear that like the Toyman one or whatever is good.
I've only seen the first one. I think I just watched it for the first time this last December.
Nice.
But yeah, same kind of thing where I was like, yeah, this is like this is still, it's way better. It's not as hokey as I thought it would be.
Right.
And then especially some of the stuff at the beginning, I was like, this is kind of brutal.
Yeah,
Like, this
yeah,
is,
it's dark.
Yeah, the whole religious factor.
Well,
is,
and him
pretty heavy.
like the whole dark cloud, ominous nature of him descending upon an orphanage through the entire movie is
And
like
also
really
his
scary.
mom, like getting like
just
what
everything.
Goes down,
It's almost
rough,
like
dude.
if it were shot in a way that looked a little more professional, I think it would be remembered a lot better. Because there is something kind of basic
It was
about
very
that.
low rush.
But the story has got plenty of legs.
Here's where this movie stands in my mind. This Silent Night, Deadly Night reboot stands on equal footing with the Return of the Living Dead reboot, right? Where they showed the trailer of the Tar Man dragging a body in the snow or whatever. So like we're getting 2 reboots of some really good franchise origins, and I'm worried that both of them are going to be quite substandard. But, you know, maybe I'm just not giving Mike P. Nelson enough credit. I gotta give him credit. If he directed Wrong Turn 2, he was the one that gave us the split down the middle kill.
A long time ago.
It doesn't matter, but he still gave it to us, right?
I know.
It's still in the pantheon. It didn't have Eliza Dushku, but to me, 2 was the best one after 1 for sure. And 2, I might say I have more fun watching, because again, that one kill where it's the leg size shot where the axe comes down and then the legs just split when all the gore drops into frame and they just split this way. It's like it's like
a chunk of bowels.
Loved it, yeah. When it
bottom,
came out, I was like, "Ooh, that's so satisfactory for my gore lover's heart." So, like, you know, I am perhaps poo-pooing on Mike P. Nelson more than I should be, considering I appreciate you know, some of his other work.
Now, so the big thing I want to ask you, dude, is that unlike me and like Drum Dum's Haley.
Oh, what up? Wait, Lee's here?
No, I'm just
Oh,
saying because
I
of the
was
fact
saying,
that, no, because of the fact that I actually like Halloween Ends. I like it.
Oh, I love Halloween Ends.
Yeah,
It's my favorite sequel in the franchise.
I like Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
Cecil hates it.
Because it's fucking terrible.
I'm into this actor.
Probably only watched it once. Right?
I'm into this
Let me
actor.
guess.
Why would I need to watch it more than that?
Because everyone that I know that doesn't like it has only seen it once. They've never even given it
no,
another
I'm not
shot.
gonna.
Shots
I'm not gonna
fired.
force
For
it.
real.
Why would I force it on myself again? I didn't. It's not gonna change. It's gonna be the same movie, right? I didn't like the decisions that were made.
The
Those same
last
decisions
10
will be
minutes
made.
with like chomping in the compressor or whatever, but everything
Yeah,
else,
sure.
man.
The meat grinder is great, but they did
No,
that in
that
Texas
was the worst
Chainsaw
part
3D.
of the movie, in my estimation.
Like,
dude.
I found
that wasn't original.
I found a lot of movies or even records when I go back to them and I revisit them, like maybe I've grown as an audience member,
Yeah,
and
different
sometimes that like makes a movie better, sometimes it makes it worse for me.
You're never
But
going
whatever.
to, the thing is, if I
I'm not
don't
gonna-
like the idea
definitely
of the
felt it with
film,
music.
You should
Man.
start a super chat goal,
Here's
and
the
guys,
thing.
if you raise $25,
No,
see
because
so
here's the thing.
much.
Here's the thing, because that's happened to me twice, right? Both The Witch and It Follows. I did not like the first time. I watched them both a couple of years later, and
Yeah,
I
you
really liked
The
them.
Witch, yeah.
But those experiences, I don't know exactly why I didn't like them. I was just pretty close-minded. The ideas behind Ends, I just don't cotton to. I don't like that they brought this dude in this one movie and tried to make him a legacy character, like force it on us that he's a legacy character.
I feel like it was
they
definite-
make Michael Myers like the big badass of the entire franchise is a fucking joke in the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, that's not what I want in a Halloween movie.
But
I
you-
hated
You're
the
ending
second
the
one,
franchise.
so I
You're
hated
ending the
second one, so
franchise.
course
It's the
correction
big
was
finale
essential.
between him and Laurie, which you know we get 5 seconds
Yeah.
of in the
Yeah,
actual
I know,
movie.
I know. It
It
was a cop
betrays
tease.
the
You're
whole
totally right.
premise
Yeah.
of the franchise and what they were saying the movie was going to be. So, like, if they had marketed what it was maybe going to be, I might have been a little bit easier for it. But no, they were marketing it as the big finale, the final fight between Laurie and Michael. And that was
Which
4.5
stupid.
minutes in
Yeah.
the movie.
I agree.
You know
That
what I
was-
mean? Like,
that
I'm
was
sorry.
pure-
This sounds like it's its
that's what
own
I'm saying.
video.
This is
absolutely.
what...
You were probably going to
That
talk
was-
about
that was
liking
pure
Rowan Campbell.
forgery, obviously.
You probably wanted to talk about liking Rowan Campbell, even though people didn't like Ends, right? Is that where you were going?
That was where I was kind
Yeah.
of trying to go with it.
Because I feel the same way. So yes,
Yeah, I'm totally okay with him playing this character in Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I think he's perfect based on what we
I think
saw.
he's gonna be great. I didn't hate the actor.
No.
This is why
I just wanted to bring it back to the news.
This
is
I
know.
I was trying to bring it back.
Like
Fair enough, but I'm just saying this is why.
No,
To make my long belabored point.
Yeah.
This is why a rewatch won't matter. It's because the fundamental
fair.
decisions
I
of the
think
story
that's fair.
is what I don't appreciate.
Yeah.
Like the movie was it was executed fine.
Sure.
It's just the story decisions are what I don't like, and that's
Yeah.
not going to change on a rewatch.
Yeah, I had issues.
But anyway, yes,
yeah.
bringing it back to Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yes.
Yeah.
Let it go, Fuego. Say it.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Max Parker says, I agree with Cecil. All right. Thank you, Max.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. At
Thank
least someone
goodness.
does. It was 2-1 in here. So, all right.
It's about 50-50 in the fandom, I would say.
Yeah, the worst part was the underpass layer shit, but it was still fun. I liked Corey. Okay.
But yeah, Rowan Campbell, I think, like, based on what we know of the Billy character from the first film, when they announced Rowan Campbell was going to play him, I'm like,
no.
oh, he can handle that.
Oh, Movie Geek Dutch, did you just... Oh, so it wasn't Wrong Turn 2? It was Wrong Turn 2021?
It was the
Oh,
remake.
no.
I've never seen it.
Well, I stand
Which we
corrected
both-
and
which we
forgive
both
me.
reviewed.
If I think I did
liked
say
it.
if
I
he
liked-
directed Wrong Turn 2,
Yes,
then there's
you
a
did.
reason to be excited.
You did drop the if in there.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I was
because
about
that's
to
what
say-
I thought was the case. I will say I was completely wrong because that
That's
was
why
my
I was
thinking.
sitting here
But
for
I
a
did
second.
say
And
that.
I was just
So
like
what's the-
uneasily like.
No, you're
I
right.
think it was Joe. What's his face?
That was Joe Lynch.
Yeah,
You're
Joe-
right. It
Joe-
was Joe
Joe-
Lynch.
Joe Lynch directed
So there you
too,
go. That
so-
makes sense. That's why I
so-
espoused the. Maybe that's why
Yeah.
it's on my mind too, because I've actually been talking to Joe.
And what's the consensus on that remake? Is it shit?
It's
I
terrible.
liked it.
I did not like it.
It wasn't terrible.
It was well. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
There were redeeming qualities, but they made it a fucking cult movie instead of
Yeah.
a bunch of
Yeah.
crazy psychos,
Yeah,
which
we
is
were at that
annoying.
early screening of that, and we both walked out, and you were a little more negative on it than I was. But
Okay, so yeah, I do think that Rowan could be good as the fucking
As Billy.
Christmas Billy, yeah.
yeah,
Because he has that.
I can
I
see that
feel like he
brooding
can have that.
presence in his
Well, no,
face,
just
man.
this detached.
The
He has a very
tortured,
detached sort of sort of.
Yeah, the tortured kind of like 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah.
Ends had a banger soundtrack though.
Yeah, which with the
All right.
stock photo that they're
Great.
tossing around where he's looking in the mirror, man.
Yeah, I would
mean,
re-listen to the score plenty of times, but yeah. All right, so let's move on to story number 3.
Seemingly.
Story number 3 is new Stephen King's The Stand adaptation coming from director Doug Liman and Paramount Pictures. Now, Fuego, before you dive in, because I know everyone wants
I'm gonna rant.
the Hail to
That's
Stephen
fine.
King guy about this, what I did hear already is that they are looking to for the first time, condense the entire 1,160 some odd
Stupid.
page novel into a single film. Both times it's been adapted before, it has been in miniseries
I
format.
was trying to remember if you watched the CBS.
I did, of course. Yeah, we covered it.
Wasn't good.
Guys,
No.
I was hoping it was going to be
No.
a 5-minute commercial sponsored by Mike's Hard Lemonade. The
You get a-
entire 1,100 book into 5 minutes and a bunch of product placement.
And if you buy 2 Mike's Hard, you get a free griller at QT currently now.
Yeah,
So,
so this guy has
yeah.
a punchable face, but go ahead.
Like,
Mike.
that's the thing. Like, everyone says that when they try and consolidate massive Stephen King novels into a single movie, they fail. When they elongate the
If they're
short
making it
stories
into a-
into TV series, then it works great.
Always.
So they're just clearly going to make this, they're going to step on their dicks the same way they have every other time trying to adapt. That is one of the longest King books, if not the longest.
But they
right?
did a
Over
mini series
over
back.
1,100. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they do a mini series though? That was
They
more
did two.
than...
They did one in the 90s, and
Okay,
they did
I
one
remember
in,
that
in
one.
2000,
Okay.
what,
Yeah, the
16?
one with Mick Garris in the early 90s that had Joe Bob.
I love that
had Molly Ringwald. That
Had the
it's
dude from
amazing.
Coach.
Is it
Yeah, dude.
Gary
Gary
Sinise.
Sinise?
Gary
Yeah.
Sinise, yeah.
It's
That was before he was the thing.
fantastic, dude.
Okay,
That is
that's
the
the one.
That's a
the
good one. I love it.
quintessential-
I would
it's
rewatch
the
that a dozen
quintessential-
times.
It's the quintessential adaptation, man. I was really hopeful when I was like, Skarsgård? Count me in, man. I was so stoked about Alexander Skarsgård being a part of it, and even Flash, whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh, jeez. Ezra Miller?
Yeah, but he was trash
Oh,
can
he was
man.
in it?
Yeah,
Oh,
he was
man, I
trash can
forgot.
man, and he played that disgusting role very well. But God, it was so bad. And the fact that they are like immediately retconning because there's only so many IPs that Sony possesses, and so less than 5 years after they're talking about doing this, I don't think it's actually going to happen. I don't.
There's so much Stephen King stuff going on. Why
Mike
is this
Flanagan,
the thing that's being revisited?
Yeah, unlike the Mike Flanagan on Amazon, I don't think this is actually going to happen. I don't.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, because
We'll see.
with the Amazon, with the Carrie show,
Yeah.
oh, that's happening.
They're
already they pushed back The Exorcist.
Fuego, can I recommend a video for Hale?
Please.
All of the false started Stephen King films.
Do you know how many there are?
That's what I'm saying. Wouldn't that be a good video?
I would have to relegate it to a decade, dude.
That's what I'm saying. But wouldn't that be cool? Because they've announced so many adaptations that didn't end up going.
Yeah, you could do categories too. You could do like remakes that never got.
I'm serious.
300 videos back when it was on the.
I would welcome that as a Hale episode on the channel because I think that's a really good. I'm curious, genuinely curious, how many times it's happened.
Yeah, but the big thing that I do want to say.
Dark Tower, that's one that had another false start just recently, right?
Big thing I want to say,
Flanagan's
Doug Liman is the shit, dude. I just watched Go last night. You guys ever seen the movie Go?
I've never seen Go.
20-some years ago
Yeah.
it came out on
Timothy
VHS.
Oliphant, Katie Holmes. It's a
Yeah.
great fucking movie. I'm one of those weirdos who just pops on Tarantino Light sometimes, which is what that movie is.
Sure.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah.
And Doug Liman is a very talented swingers. Go. He made his way into higher caliber action, as I'm sure you know.
Well, when I see his name, it doesn't like strike anything. But I do. Yeah,
Mr.
I've seen
Mrs.
Go.
Smith
I've seen.
And,
he did that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
he like elevated.
Yeah, I
into,
gave that one
I
a
mean,
miss
the
for
recent
sure.
Red Dead. Yeah, I hated a lot of his recent shit. Roadhouse, the remake.
Oh, he did the remake of
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
A lot of people
Okay.
like that.
I liked it too. You know,
It's kind of crazy to put
I'm
it
like
in one
trying
movie.
to navigate myself around this guy who doesn't like what I'm saying.
No, you're fine. I'm just like unaware. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing a Roadhouse too, so apparently enough people liked it. Go is awesome. Fuego. Sarah Polley. All right.
Yeah, Sarah
Yeah,
Polley.
Sarah Polley's really cute.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
went on to do Women Talking, which is
Fucking
awesome
Dawn of the Dead,
fucking movie.
right?
Yeah. Written by James Gunn and directed by
What up, Jeff?
Zack Schneider.
Superman.
Dude, I'm so
Jack
close.
Schneider.
I watched Angry Joe's Superman episode today, Jeff. Jeff and I have totally become like bonded. Jeff used to
In
be.
your hatred?
Jeff has been a
life.
really long.
Bonded in your hatred.
No, Jeff has been a really long-term viewer of the channel. Jeff, let me know, how long have you actually been watching? Because I've seen your name for years, and I used to like when I would see Jeff's name pop up. It was usually not. He was usually pretty critical of whatever movie we were. He's a very hard man to please, but. Recently, we discovered a mutual love of Superman, and like now we're bonded. Like now we talk on like Instagram about it and shit. And so he like tried to tell me about a teaser that came out. I'm like, no, I'm not. So anyway, I appreciate you, Jeff. I'm excited.
The Korean teaser.
Yeah,
It's the best trailer they've put out.
Or it might have been the bit where he gets angry and busts into Lexo's office about.
I'm worried
crypto.
about the movie.
Where's the dog?
Why?
I'm like,
that's
this is-
I didn't watch it yet, but
He's acting like
I'm
a kid
sorry.
That's
again.
why he's shut
I'm
up.
sorry,
He's screaming
but
like a child.
I saw someone on TikTok and they pulled 4 different instances from comic where he literally busts into Lex's office like that and screams Luthor, and like he does it. He has
The
done
thing
that
is,
Maybe it's just
plenty
the
of times.
performance.
You have
That's-
proven
It
to
makes
me-
it seem like a teenager to me.
Like so,
The way
I haven't
he
seen that yet, but
screams,
that's when
I'm
I
not
got
buying
that. I
it.
got that vibe with the him and Lois scene in the last trailer.
It's not very
I
masculine.
wasn't well. So,
say that.
but he is also he's he's still what he's 20 something. He's in his late 20s, early 30s at the most.
Seemingly,
But
yeah.
so he's still got some maturing to do. But yeah, he's
Very
it's
obviously
only year
from
3 as Superman. I know that this is only his 3rd year, so like he's still very nascent in his super stages.
Yeah.
But I
Nicely
do
put,
hear what
dude.
you're
You
saying.
need to be filmed
And
as
it
you're
seems
saying this, right?
like I
Well,
guess
we are a good thing.
I get that he'd be really upset, but I think like given the subject matter of what he's busting in there for, he is and given what else is happening in the background, like somebody is like filming Superman with her phone, and Lex is encouraging to do her. So
but keep in mind,
so
it's
Lex
only
is just trying to get him to act unreasonable, and he's feeding right into it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, yeah,
this just seems so
this is
like
the first
morally
time.
weak.
No, but this is the first time. This is clearly after the scene when Lex invades the Fortress of Solitude,
I get
destroys all of his robots,
Sure.
steals his dog.
fascinating.
Like so,
I
like
didn't
yeah,
even
Superman wouldn't have. He wouldn't have the experience to deal with that personal invasion of his fortress of solitude. It's called that because he's the only one that's ever been there, and so that's been violated. And fucker took his dog. If anyone ever took my fucking cat,
I'm worried.
Like I would go after them with the fury of 1,000 suns.
I'm just worried that the petulant teenager stuff is being like highlighted too
amplified.
much.
Yeah,
The
it
one
is,
scene
it
with
is.
Lois,
I agree with that.
You get enough of it, and you understand
I
that
agree
he
with
is
that.
walking a tightrope with how involved he should be. This just seems to be like re-emphasizing.
I agree with that. I agree, and I
it
do
was
think
like, oh, more
I
little
do
kid
think
shit.
Gunn, and he has mentioned that he's done this with purpose. I do think he's focusing too much on the fact that his Superman can be beat, because he said that was a big problem with Superman for a lot of people, is that he was infallible and undefeatable. So he wanted to focus on the fact that he could be beat and he could be fallible. And I think that makes sense. I don't think I think he grows and he matures and he gets better at dealing with these situations. But keep in mind, it wasn't that long ago that a character named Manchester Black made Superman think that Lois was dead, and at the end of the story arc, Superman literally focuses his laser vision into Manchester's eyeball and lobotomizes him in order to keep him from ever using his powers again. He literally cuts that part of his brain out using his fucking microscopic heat vision.
Yeah.
So, like, Superman will go far if you push him. And so, like, that's what I know about the character, and that's what... So I agree. I think the marketing is focusing too much on that and not balancing as much what he is otherwise as well. I think we're going to get that better in the movie itself. But I hear what you're saying. I think they're valid concerns, 100%.
And I think that Gunn is kind
another complete side job.
Gunn is like injecting his own experience with social media in a negative way, and he's putting that all in Superman, and that's what I'm concerned about. I just hope it's not the focal point of the movie.
Is Cecil defending the film like I'm defending Man of Steel? It was his early stage also doing mistakes. Yeah, but in Man of Steel, people were dying from his mistakes. I don't think that's going to happen. And he decided to kiss Lois on the ruins and pulped bodies of Metropolitans. So that's not going to happen in this movie either.
Unfortunately.
I did not like Superman punching someone's teeth out. Well, let's see what that person does. Maybe that person deserves his teeth to get knocked out. We'll see.
I like Man of Steel. I'll just say that. But I like most of the Superman movies.
Let's see. The scene I was talking about was when Superman says "good gosh" as he catches a kaiju foot. See, I still haven't seen that clip. I still haven't seen the "good gosh" clip. But yeah, I agree, Jeff. I'm excited. That's very Big Blue. And the fact that Guy Gardner refers to him as Big Blue, I think that's awesome. All right, so I guess we can move on from The Stand and we can jump into the next one because I'm very on board for the next one. Yeah, I don't know what happened. So, guys, Sarah Michelle Gellar is helping big time behind the scenes put together the Buffy reboot. It was hypothetical for so long, and then as soon as the fandom got wind of it actually being a thing, like when they assigned an overall showrunner for it, then people were suddenly like, "Oh my god, you're not supposed to be up here. Come here, Dylan. Dylan, come here.
We have a doggo friend.
Come here. Come on.
Yeah, this one, I'm
Come here,
excited
Dylan.
that she's
Come
involved
here.
and that it's actually going.
Come here. Come on, you can come in. Come on. Come here. Come here, Dylan.
Buddy, if you're going to interrupt, you got to at least make it.
Yeah, you got to appear. You got to appear. Come on.
Don't worry, guys. We got dog friend. There we go.
This is Dylan.
Hey, bud.
He's never allowed upstairs, so he shouldn't be up here. But this is our little doggo of the household.
Someone left the gate open.
All right, get out. Go. All right, let me go put him downstairs.
Hey, folks. Davey Deathray here. How y'all doing? Yeah, I'm excited for the Buffy reboot. I like the original show. I don't think every episode is great. There's definitely some lulls within that series, but for the most part, pretty damn good. So I'm curious, like, Sarah Michelle Gellar says she wants to bring everyone back.
Yeah, she says she wants to bring all the characters that have died back.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they could do it, but I mean, it is Buffy, it is metaphysical universe. Yeah, magical. Like, a lot of people have pitched ideas for how Cordelia could come back.
Who actually follows me on Twitter.
She does? Charisma follows you?
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
That's from way back in the day, but yeah.
Careful, you sure you want to jump into another? Like, we got a lot of recording to do still.
Sure,
just making sure.
No, careful.
Wow, I was about to say.
I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure.
About to
I
say.
see your eyelids are doing the garage door halfway thing, so I'm just making sure, brother.
And here I thought I was out of it.
They most certainly are.
All right,
Man,
so
and in the instances when I'm like supremely sober, I can't even keep up.
did you watch a lot of Buffy at all?
Tons of it, man.
Did you watch Buffy and Angel or just Buffy?
Wow.
Okay, yeah. This is why maybe holding back a little bit on that.
I never
Good
watched
idea.
Angel because I don't think David Boreanaz is that great of an actor.
I watched them both, and it's funny. I didn't get into it until the age of DVD box sets, and Smallville started to come out, and then Buffy came out, and I was like, I've never seen Buffy. Everyone talks about how good it is, so I bought the first box set, and I was like, that's really good. And then I bought season 2, and then at some point, I think by season 5 is when I started to be like on it as they released the box sets.
Okay.
So I never watched it live on TV, but I watched the box sets as soon as they dropped. I would rush to Best Buy and get the box set and run home, and I would binge the shit out of Buffy and Angel. And what I found is, so Angel started the season 4 of Buffy, and they ran concurrently for the next 5 years. And well, at least Buffy ended season 7, and then Angels finished season 5. But I found myself binging Angel faster than I would binge Buffy.
I've heard that from a lot of people, and it's like a little bit of a different kind of show, right? It's more of like a detective kind of thing. Right. So I think it's cool that they're both pretty different. And yeah, I mean, I think with Buffy, here's what they need to do. If they want to do Buffy right and they bring her back, those concept episodes from the original run were
Corey?
the better episodes. Instead of doing Monster of the Week, like doing those more concept kind of things, I'd love to see. But I'm pumped for Sarah Michelle Gellar. When I was in high school, I was totally fucking around with my own like band and stuff. I should have had her poster on my wall, and I should have been daydreaming about her.
Oh,
but
man,
I wasn't.
Cruel Intentions
I didn't
suck.
watch Buffy
You know what?
until
I didn't
my
find her.
20s.
So that's revealing though, because I didn't find her attractive in Cruel Intentions because she had that fucking veinage
I'll let you put
all
it
on her
anyway.
chest.
Ooh, I like the veinage.
See, I don't like the veinage. That's way too thin for me. Like, I don't like that. Like, that's like.
I guess I'll take them all sorts.
That's emaciated. That feels
What I'm
emaciated.
talking about in the
No,
movie
some
I stuck
women
in the
just
watch
have-
as a 15.
Some women just have veinage.
Yes, I dated a girl
Am
in
I
high
betraying
school.
my lack of experience?
I dated a girl in high school that was very voluptuous, and she had a beautiful veinage.
That's
She
not.
went
That's
right
not
on the
I was
wrong.
about to
That's
say,
not
Sarah
wrong.
Michelle Gellar
Voluptuous,
was not
I'm familiar
voluptuous in
with.
any way, shape, or form. But
Voluptuous is
I'm
what I
familiar with.
prefer.
Hey, man. Yeah, like. That's a whole other fun discussion we could have down the
yeah,
line.
indeed.
Yes.
The best sort of
But yes, I'm pumped.
Final Girls,
I'm
let's
pumped
say.
that she's coming back. It seems like they have a good creative team that's had some success lately.
The fact that they're looking to bring people back that like were either like a lot of people feel like Charisma was undeservedly killed off in Angel,
Yeah, well,
and part
she-
of why is
Yeah, and
because
treated
she
like
got
shit
yeah
by-
she got treated like shit by
Joss
Whedon and amongst other people. She was literally forced off of Angel after a number of seasons, and she was like a hardcore love.
yeah, she was
of
like
Angel.
worried to get pregnant and like do.
Well,
live her
yeah,
life.
like yeah, it was so
Weirdly
stupid.
enough, I
Terrible.
never really
So,
liked
like-
her on either show, but
I liked
Oh,
her.
I loved
but
her.
they
She-
wrote her
dude,
character
she
as a
came
jerk,
into-
and she played it
for
really
the first
well.
few seasons, yeah. But then she was like
She
one
has
of
an
those.
arc.
She was the most clutch, non-Scooby person ever. Like she never said no when they needed help. You know, like she was actually always there.
But definitely
No, she
not.
was in Buffy too.
She got
I'm
there.
doing.
She got there in
I'm
Buffy.
watching
I
Ashley
don't-
Burton do a watch along of the whole series, and we're up to season 5. And yeah, she definitely was. So anyway,
Rewatch, man.
I'm excited about the reboot, and
Yeah.
I'm excited that Buffy says she wants to bring back everyone that's died, because that means we get more Wesley. That means, I mean, it's a shame we'll never get more Lorne from Angel, but you know that well, hopefully, like if they're bringing back dead people, that means we'll get a little more Oz.
Yeah.
She's got to bring Seth Green back,
I
right?
mean, Spike, because Spike is
He's-
ultimately the
said
hero.
he
at the end of the
did
series?
a Q&A recently at a convention he was at,
very
and he said, "I
nonchalant
can't
about
talk
returning
about
from-
it." So you know that they've got
Yeah,
him
so
coming
he's
back.
totally-
And how amazing is it? Like, this is a
How are they going to explain? But
his accent. And when I found out
was
that
a-
guy is American, I was like, what?
So-
He's American?
So how-
his
It was
accent
it
is
was essentially
unreal.
my
Yeah.
Supernatural. Like when I started watching Supernatural for some of those conventions, man.
Yeah.
It was Buffy with bros.
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah,
And
that's
I-
true.
I loved
That's true.
Yeah.
it.
That's
Yeah,
true. But
yeah.
so how are they going to explain the aging, right? If they bring back David Boreanaz, if they bring back Spike. So here's my goal. Here's my thinking. Because
CG.
Boreanaz aged. Technically, on the show, you could tell that he aged on
vampires aren't
Angel.
supposed to age,
Spike didn't really age that much until towards the end. So what I'm thinking
didn't
is
like her fucking
they
Spike,
say
but,
that any vampire that gets their soul back starts aging.
That's what I
And
was
so,
gonna
like,
say.
because they
Yeah,
both have their
alright,
souls back, so
alright.
that's why they've been aging this whole time.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a cool explanation? Like, boom, solved.
Cecil figured it out, guy. He's an idea man, folks.
And they've been
Very
hitting
much
their
so.
heads on.
Oh yeah, rip Michelle Trachtenberg, 100%. Yeah. Although Dawn was my least favorite part of the show, definitely
Yeah.
she was.
It was
she
a weird
awesome.
thing that they did, but I think it gave us one of my favorite villains in the show, Glory. With
See,
the best hair I've
I
ever
still
seen in my
remember
life.
when
Yeah,
I
that
was
she was
watching the show.
hilarious.
What's up, Fauci?
I
Good
just
to
thought
see
she
you.
was funny. Like, I loved her as a villain. Like, I don't know.
I still remember very distinctively watching that episode where they're like,
You have a sister.
Yeah.
like all of a sudden I was like, whoa, okay.
And the fandom has to accept it too. This is
Yeah.
now a soap opera.
Yep.
You're
Yeah,
checked in.
Yep, and that was like season 3, 4, or something like that.
Season 5 is when she shows up.
Okay, it was after the military.
Yeah, because
season,
at
right?
because the end,
Fuck, the military season was one of the
Riley
fucking
is the worst.
Riley, I hate
Horrible!
Riley.
Riley makes
Riley.
David Boreanaz look
Yeah.
charismatic.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So bad.
It's so interesting watching the seasons through Ashley's eyes because she never watched it and she likes Riley. She's like, they're so good together because they go out and they hunt.
He just
You know,
looks
they
like
they
he
go
looks
they
like
patrol
discount.
together. Yeah.
He looks like discount David Boreanaz, and it was one of those things where I'm like,
He
can't
does.
Buffy just
Especially
be
with the
single for a
haircut.
year?
Yeah,
in
dude, he had
college?
the Justin Bieber cut. Like
Yeah.
I feel like.
Can't you
know
just
what
be
I mean?
single for one season of the
No,
show?
no.
It's like they had to give her a romantic interest. Like you couldn't have
Well,
a
but
day.
she was a girl in college. What girl in college do you know isn't
All right, so
I just wanted him to
jumping
do something
from bed
different.
to? No,
All right,
just
so
kidding.
She's the Slayer. Come on.
all right, so dudes, I have to say, 5, 6, 7, I can't remember, where she wakes up and she's like, I was in perfect peace.
Oh no, that was,
I was-
she.
that was
it's
5,
during the.
right?
It's
5
during the
or-
musical episode in season 6.
Yeah, where
'Cause she
wakes
dies at
up
the end of
and
5.
she's
Yeah.
like, I was
But they don't
so
tell
happy.
anyone. No, they don't. That she only reveals
Yeah.
that during the song where she's like,
Yeah.
"They pulled me out."
That shit made me cry, dude. And,
Yeah.
like,
And she's
this
like,
is
yeah.
way back.
I thought
They
she
didn't realize
expressed it
they
later
pulled me
on.
out of heaven, is what she said. I'm not going to sing the song. I almost did.
Yeah.
But she said, yeah, they pulled me out of heaven.
Yeah,
And
her friends are like, "Oh, we still need you," and she's like, "I was dead and I had my."
that
You know,
dude, that fucking song, that moment of that song when you see Willow's face fall and she starts to
And
tear
that was
up, and even
before Willow
Giles,
turned
you see
evil and
Giles'
everything,
face like, oh.
I didn't
fuck.
like
Yeah,
lesbian evil Willow very much, but you know,
I don't remember it, but I remember the reason for it being legitimate
Yeah.
when fucking Warren
Oh yeah, it was
caps
with the
Tara. Yeah.
it was with the killing of.
Talk about boring.
Anyway, we are losing.
No, no,
Yeah.
Tara.
Yeah, oh, I understand that. Yeah. All right, so let's move on. We're waxing a little bit too much about Buffy, I suppose. So the next story we're talking about is, oh boy, Blumhouse has purchased the rights to the Saw franchise.
And this
Now,
is where I really wish that our buddy Jason Smith was.
why?
I thought I saw-
I'm just as big a fucking
I thought I
fan
saw
of the
him in the
franchise
chat.
as
Because
he
of the
is.
fact that he thinks
No?
it's gonna be
What the fuck are you
like
talking about?
like synthesized or like whatever it's gonna be.
If
you
they
know,
bring back Lee Wanell and James Wan, why would it be?
because of the
They
fact
made
that-
the originals.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
You would imagine James
yeah, but
Wan
they're-
will. at
They're
least-
not gonna Blumhouse it, like just because they're the string
under
pullers.
Jason's, like, you know.
I don't know. People
man.
get.
Do
People
you
get.
how much control do you think? Do you think Jason's gonna purchase the
Even
rights to?
Saw-
Listen to what I'm saying.
Even Saw 10
Listen
was
to
really
what I'm
brutal, dude.
saying. You think he's gonna buy the rights to Saw, hire the original guys that created it, and then say,
And
"I
make it
know
shit.
better than you"?
Cash grab.
He's
Cash
gonna
grab.
listen to what I'm
Cash
saying. You're not
grab?
listening to me. Let me finish my thoughts before you start talking. Do you think he's gonna hire the original creators and then say, "I know better than you"?
Why do you talk as if you are?
You're still not listening. All right, I'm done. I'm done.
No, I think
I'm done.
I think
I'm done.
Like
I want
with,
to hear what Davey is.
with most production companies, it's like people act
I'm
like
just kidding,
a production
man.
company is either like for them or not, and it's like, well, there's all these different
What up,
kinds
Jamie?
of A24 movies. There's different kinds of Blumhouse movies. There, like, just because the production company's name is on it
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's going to be the worst of the worst. I think Blumhouse, like, I like a lot of their stuff, and I think some of their stuff is just kind of like a joke. But I don't think that. I think James Wan is going to be the one, since it really is what Blumhouse and Atomic Monster.
Yeah.
I think basically the way it's going to be is going to be like, yeah, we'll both fund the movie, and then the decisions will be, you'll be the one, James. You get to have the final say. So you're not writing the stories. You're not going to direct one of these movies, but you're going to be there, like, cradling this thing to success. It would be like having John Carpenter come back in an official capacity for movies like Halloween 4, 5, and 6. Like, it would be something that you would actually want.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, and I think Blumhouse, more often than not, I at least enjoy their movies.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
can-
Not
they
every
can
movie
be
needs
good.
to be
Dude,
high art.
no,
for me.
and that's
No.
what
I just want to have a good time.
They
or-
can
and
be
if
good. They
and
can
I-
be bad,
And
but
I love,
again-
dude, the David
and the-
Gordon Green
and the
Halloweens
big
are
thing-
all in my top 5. So
yeah,
I'm
and
a
the
total
big thing that I was
sucker.
trying to make, like, you know, very much a like assessment and assertion about me is that Saw needs to be fucking like NC-17 hard,
Close to it.
R,
I think they can-
as like nasty as possible.
They can make it as R
And
as it's been
Blumhouse, unfortunately, kind of reels.
They're not
going
going to make Saw
bit.
PG-13.
Yeah,
They would
yeah,
never
but the-
do that.
Yeah,
No.
they would kind of puss out a little bit in my estimation.
No, I
man.
think with this one, there's an opportunity for them. They
Personal
know they're
opinion.
They know they're
Yeah.
going to make money off of it. It's
Yeah.
not a new franchise they have to sell to
10
a younger
was
audience.
fucking hardcore, dude.
10
I
was great.
loved
So
10.
so they can Blumhouse can be like, let's make this the most shocking movie we've ever done. Take us as close to Terrifier as you can within your own sensibilities.
Like, I adore the fact that Lee and James are like reacquiring their baby.
Yeah.
You know, it's fucking awesome.
It could
in
be
that
really
regard.
cool. To me, the bigger question is, do they continue it with Tobin Bell? Or are we talking about a reboot? Do they do one that is
Because
like a
there was an
bookend
11
and then
that was-
reboot it, since
yeah.
they probably have a 3-picture deal or something?
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
mean,
they're
but here's the thing. Whatever
what
it
would
is,
you do?
Whatever it is, I trust them to make that call. They created it originally,
Yeah.
so whatever. If anyone shifts the fucking direction of the franchise, it can be them.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, if
Yeah.
anyone
The
else
ones who
stepped into the
created it,
shoes
right? So
and
shit.
shifted the franchise, no one else would buy into it. But at least if
Yeah.
it's them, like, you can't just say, oh, this person's ruining the franchise.
Yeah.
Because no, they're evolving their franchise into what they think
Sure.
it should be.
Yeah.
And so you might hate it, and that's fine, you can hate it, but you can't say they ruined the franchise because it's their fucking franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's exactly.
To our friend Jason's point, though, you know, he thinks they're gonna soften it, man.
Why?
I don't think
Why
so.
would they soften it?
Yeah. Because of the fact that, like,
What would-
Blumhouse versus Twisted Pictures, and you look
They're
at
not
their...
going to suddenly make it PG-13.
No.
Saw is an
No,
R-rated
no,
franchise.
I don't think they're gonna make it PG.
So if they're gonna keep it
as
R,
far as,
why would they
backing
soften it?
Backing it off
They're
a little.
not.
It's a
bit.
nonsensical argument.
They are going to take it to the
I
fucking
love
edge.
Jason. I love Sinister Cinema, but that's a nonsensical argument.
They
That's
know
that's a bias towards Blumhouse that is affecting
Yeah,
your ability
I
to
agree.
consider objectively what
I
will
agree.
happen with the franchise.
I agree.
Well,
I
I'm
think
kinda with him.
for
You guys can
Blumhouse,
go.
as they continue
I
to
feel
grow,
like it's a bias though. Like what about Blumhouse? No, like let's follow through. Let's follow
Yeah.
the thought through.
Blumhouse does not do any overt hard R films.
that's wrong.
in my opinion.
Halloween Kills.
Example.
Halloween Kills was pretty aggressive with the violence.
What else?
Does it need to be what else? That was a pretty recent example. That's
Yeah,
a pretty
but
big
but that's a-
profile.
I would say
example.
all 3 of the Halloween
Yeah, yeah,
movies
but
they
that's a
did
You
hold
big-
back.
got meat
but that's a
grinded
big
at the
IP,
end.
but
That's
a
pretty big.
IP,
That doesn't
though.
matter.
But
Yeah.
so is
Saw is
Saw.
a big IP.
I think they'll be okay, dude. I think
Saw
they'll
is
be okay.
Saw's
And
got almost
hear-
as many movies as Halloween.
Hear me out on one
I'm
last
not
point.
trying to be Wolf
No, no, no,
talking
I know,
about
but-
like
no,
No,
we're
Jaws,
trying to-
dude. You're
all we're
crap,
doing
you know?
is all we're doing
I'm
is
sorry, I had to do that. But
we're hearing your points, but we're giving our response to the
Sure.
points, right?
And-
we're just trying to have a friendly debate.
I just think as Blumhouse continues to like grow, and when you bring in something like Saw, what's great is Blumhouse knows with stuff like Imaginary or things that are like newer ideas or like the first Megan, they can
Imaginary
put
was
it to
really
PG-13,
bad.
right? But as Blumhouse continues to grow and you grab a franchise like Saw, you're like, this is our chance to make a lot of money and deliver
Well, the
on
original
gore.
guys being
Dude,
involved
there are so
is-
this franchise
yeah.
has been around for like almost 25 years right
Yeah.
now, huh? So you've
Lee
got people
and
our
James,
age, and you've got people a little bit older than us bringing their kids to this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are gonna sell tickets for an R-rated film. There's no way they would do Saw PG-13.
The
Like,
only
no
reason,
way.
the only reason
never
they're
said they
not.
would.
Yeah,
Well,
I
but
mean,
when you say hold back, I think PG-13.
Yeah.
Because why hold? If it's gonna be R, it's gonna be R. So push
Yeah.
it.
No,
'cause
but a pussy
Saw's
ass
always.
R, dude.
No,
You know?
but Saw's always been like hardcore.
yeah,
right?
the,
Yeah, and that's
the
what
Blumhouse
I'm
movies,
saying.
they'll
Is that,
keep it.
like,
Dude.
a hardcore
But that's what I'm
Saw
saying.
might be
That's also
like,
what I'm saying. But what
like back.
the Blumhouse
backstep a
R's
little
have been
bit.
aggressive. Most Blumhouse
Which
is
one?
PG-13.
What's a
Halloween
aggre-
Ends had aggressive violence.
Halloween Ends, Halloween Kills, Halloween
Beyond
2018.
that, beyond that, what's
Why
a
does it-
aggressive?
Why does it? What other R-rated Blumhouse is there?
Because
Where that was focusing on it.
Dude,
Everything
and-
else they've made is PG-13, so of course that's going to seem softer
And-
because there's no fucking gore there.
Yeah, I
but
think
there
it'll be
are
good.
R-rated ones. They go for it.
If there's only one instance,
Sinister and Black
it's in-
Phone. Those are both Blumhouse, right?
Yeah.
Evil Alex.
Sinister wasn't R, was it?
Yeah,
It might not
Sinister
be.
was totally R. Yeah.
Sinister was R? Wow.
And even if not,
Davey
movies
saves
you
the day.
still
Davey
no.
saves the day.
It's
No,
Evil
no,
Alex.
I'm
All
actually-
credit to Evil Alex in the chat.
But those aren't meant
Yeah.
to be gory movies.
But
Like,
those are R-rated
but it
films.
sh- and-
right,
that
but
have
that doesn't.
profanity and
but it
like
and it shows that
distressing
Blumhouse can do it.
situations.
Blumhouse,
Right.
dude,
Yeah,
they're gonna be
and
great
that's
with
the
Saw.
only clarification that I
Yeah,
need.
I think they're gonna. I think Jason at this point, when you have somebody like James Wan jump in with you, you're like one of the reasons why you bring someone like him in is you're like, cool, I don't have to like tend every fucking dish on the grill. Like this guy can handle some shit because he knows a thing or two. And I think with Saw, it's gonna basically be like, James, don't bug me unless you have to, unless you
Well,
need
I
more
mean,
money.
Atomic Monster.
Talk to me about it then.
Didn't Atomic Monster merge with
they've
Blumhouse?
been yes,
Yeah.
so they've
Yeah.
been producing movies together. That's one of the reasons why they got
Yeah.
Saw.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on, or
Yes.
else we're never going to
Sorry.
finish this news.
Yeah,
no, it's
sorry,
okay.
sorry.
No, I was in on it too. So, next
like
episode
to
or next
talk.
story is Robert Eggers is going to direct his own A Christmas Carol film, apparently after Werewolf. Werewolf. Wolf with a U.
Indeed.
Yeah. Double umlaut.
I'm fine with this. Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that
read
Willem
the
Dafoe
story.
would have to be Scrooge.
Yes.
Right? Like, is there anyone else he would ever cast for that?
And
no.
I hope
Read this.
Anya Taylor-Joy is the Ghost of Christmas Present.
Oh my God. You're right.
Yeah. I'm
Called
suddenly-
it.
I'm suddenly thinking about Scrooge and where she could be like the sexy stand-in.
No,
or-
because Johnny Depp's daughter is going to be in the actual story.
Oh,
Anya Taylor-Joy
yuck.
will play a ghost because
Ugh.
she's got those interesting praying mantis eyes. She's so beautiful. Anyways.
So I'm okay with this. It depends on how. If it's Eggers, it's going to be dark.
Yeah.
The only
Which I
Eggers movie,
appreciate.
the only
I read
Eggers
that
movie I
book
did. Well,
every
you know
year,
what?
dude.
I didn't like Lighthouse, and I wasn't the biggest fan of Nosferatu.
wasn't
But I
either.
liked The Northman. I liked The Witch. So I'll give it a try. I'll always give his
Grew
movies a
to
try.
Like the Witch, if I remember
I
correctly.
eventually liked.
Yeah,
The
we
Witch.
talked
Yeah,
about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't mind it. What about you guys?
I'm stoked as fuck, man. Even though I hated Nosferatu, and I did, I hated it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
From an aesthetic standpoint, I thought
Yeah.
it was pretty badass. The writing was wretched, but yeah, whatever. We're gonna hang with that.
Well, and I guess that's the thing about some of these movies that he's doing is he doesn't have to really rewrite A Christmas Carol very much. I mean, if you think about it, with us being horror fans, like A Christmas Carol is the original Christmas horror story.
Pretty much.
So it's like Edgar Allan Poe meets
I was thinking
Christmas.
Muppets, dude.
So it's kind of cool to think that, like, we always talk about these Christmas horror movies that we love, even the ones that are not so great, but A Christmas Carol is the OG. The only thing I worry about, and I've talked about this, like, when I've gone live or whatever, I do worry that Eggers is like, I want him to be able to do his own stories, and I know these are stories he wants to do. Like, he directed a Nosferatu stage play when he was in high school. Like, he's wanted to make a movie of that forever. I get it. Same thing, I'm guessing, with A Christmas Carol. So, far be it from me to tell this very successful, young, talented director what to do.
Do you feel
but
like
I do
he's
hope
reaching?
I hope
Do
he
you feel
finds
like
his
he's reaching?
No, I hope he finds his way back to just like telling some of his own stories, because I do really love The Witch. And even though The Lighthouse is like this oddball, almost like 2001 sort
I'm
of
so
like
glad Cecil
matchup,
eventually
like-
came around to The Witch, dude, because
Yeah.
I fucking
I think that-
love The Witch so much, man.
And I think this guy has a lot of talent. I'd love to see him, do what satisfies him, and then do some like really weird shit too.
He'll get there eventually, but you
yeah.
gotta remember, we don't know the guy, right? So maybe
Yeah.
his end game was always to touch on all these different properties.
I mean, he's wanted. That's why I say he's wanted to do them. So it's like far be it from me.
Yeah.
And hopefully he's. I think what he's doing is sort of setting himself up to be able to, you know, have enough cash and enough cachet to start his own production company.
Well, he
really does do what he wants.
He did well with
but hey,
Nosferatu.
A Christmas Carol. I hope it's a little weirder. I wanted Nosferatu to be like an expressionist film, like Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and stuff like that. I felt like Nosferatu, I was just like, I was lukewarm on it. I didn't hate it, but I was very lukewarm.
Yeah,
and so I'm hoping that he finds that. You know, I'm hoping that his A Christmas Carol actually... I don't ever expect a movie to scare me, but moments of dread that really do feel like a horror movie.
I feel like some of the stylistic standpoints, he was going for that sort of vibe with, you know, Cabinet. But,
and Willem Dafoe as Ebenezer Scrooge. I mean, like, you can't cast any better.
That, I suppose.
Oh wait, you can. It's called Bill Murray, and the movie is called Scrooge,
yeah,
directed by Richard Donner.
Amazing.
That's the best version of the story, and no one's ever gonna outdo that one. But this one should be really fun.
Yep, sits on my shelf. It's an amazing film. Anyway.
All right, well, let's move on then. Now, this next one I'm super excited about. I was a massive fan of When Evil Lurks.
Oh my god, yes.
And the fact that Damien Rugna is apparently doing a sequel makes me very, very happy. Makes me a little worried, right? Because anytime you have such a out-of-the-gate, like low-budget, rugged success like When Evil Lurks, I'm always concerned about a sequel, but same dude's in charge. He's kicked ass with When Evil Lurks. He kicked ass with Terrified.
Yeah.
So I have no reason to believe.
Personally prefer.
Yeah, I have no reason to believe that this isn't going to be amazing as well. So I am very, very excited about When Evil Lurks too.
Yeah, when Evil Lurks hit and everyone was like, "Oh, are they going to make a sequel?" I remember reading this interview where he was like, "Well, like, I don't really get to make that decision right now because I don't think he had the rights, like, moving forward. It was something where the studio could pick it up and, like, hire him. So he was like, it might happen with me and it might happen without me. And so that's when I was, like, worried. I was like, oh, shit. But the fact that he is coming back.
Argentina,
like,
if I remember
correctly. Argentina. I love him coming back. I really enjoyed Terrified as well. I've often said that, like, to me, When Evil Lurks kind of reminds me of, like, an Evil Dead movie made by Kristopher Nolan. Where it's, like, this grounded, like, very cinematic, like, epic feeling movie. For being a movie that comes out of nowhere that's not attached to another IP, I felt like it was so epic. I love the double violas in the soundtrack. I thought the way they, like, did the put together the sound design and everything was great, too. And, yeah, I am pumped for Damien Rugna. I want to see more from him. I wouldn't even mind seeing him step into, you know, the whole bidding war of, like, TCM and all that. I'm like, well, if he said he wants to do Friday the 13th. I saw him on Flet's Movies and Pop Culture 13, and he told him, I want to direct a Friday the 13th film, which I'm totally down for. I also think he could handle something like Texas Chainsaw.
I think a foreign director would lend itself incredibly well to that.
Well, and just the way he captures gore and the way he shot blocks, the way he moves the camera, the way they edit. Like, I thought some of the best moments in When Evil Lurks was the way the
dude was insane.
Well, and not even that. There's a shot early on in the film where they're walking through the woods and they see something, and the way the camera moves, there's like a tree in front, the guy in front, and then the guy moves, and you see this, like, eviscerated animal corpse, and it's these, like, really great, like, I know it's so nerdy, blocking and camera movement, like, really gets my pants tight.
Yeah, so Tyler Adams says it was boring for me. Oh, Nosferatu, okay, yeah. Let's see here.
Yep, Nosferatu was very boring.
Evil Alex says, I'm yet to see Evil Lurks. Definitely worth seeing. Movie Geek Dutch says, When Evil Lurks, the dog scene, woof. Max Parker, When Evil Lurks was one of the most horrific things I've seen. I loved it.
It was my favorite horror of 2023.
I think it was mine too.
Dude,
and an Evil Dead film came out, and I love that franchise, but this was far superior.
Yeah, this was
so
good.
All right.
All right, so that is story number 7. Moving on to story number 8, we have Return to Silent Hill finally gets a January release date, which is not the most encouraging thing. However, Megan was a January movie, so I guess you never know.
So was Wolf. We all love that.
I don't know, man. I was trying to remember these two previous films, and I think the second one I liked better than the first one.
They were both fun, both entertaining. Pyramid had rules in both.
Same director, I don't recall.
Yeah, same director as all three.
Cool.
Yeah,
So he's coming back.
There's some moments in that first film I liked. You get Marcia Gay Harden as like the evil bitch. That's always good, right? When she's in The Mist, she plays a very similar character in The Mist.
Yeah.
You know, where you're like, oh, I love a villain I can hate.
Yeah, I feel
you
like
know?
that's her. She's typecast as that.
She's amazing though in Confess Fletch with John Hamm. She's really good in that. But anyway, those
I
first
think
two
that-
movies are just okay.
Yeah, I think the big info dump was the fact that same weekend.
Scream 5 was a January movie.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, same weekend. Check it out. Not theatrical.
Wait, I thought it is. It says releasing January, but it's not going to be theatrical.
No, it's theatrical.
I didn't know. Well, I just figured. No, it's going to be.
I need to peace out. Yeah.
Why?
Oh, because I'm feeling like drunkenness.
Oh.
Feeling stupid.
Why don't you just go get some water then?
No.
Yeah, you're fine, man.
Just go get some water. There's a whole bunch downstairs.
Everybody, show Fuego some love in the chat.
It's fine. We're halfway through, man. We got some work to do here. So just go grab some water. Grab a. There's a bunch of little strawberry shortcake cakes.
I have a fizzy
That'll soak
water
up
in
some
my
stuff.
bag.
Seriously, no
Get you
hate, bro.
fizzy water.
No hate. Everyone understand. Like, everyone's good. We'll be here. Just go grab yourself something. You're good.
We're all right.
All right. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I've heard rumblings from some people saying it might not be great based on what they've been seeing, but I choose to hold out hope because I enjoyed both of the first two. I think the scores for both of those movies are incredible. Like the Silent Hill score, especially for the first movie, which was largely score from the game, just sort of redone in a better way. I think that's incredible. So I'm excited about this. Let's see.
We've been getting a good crop of like video game films lately, at least better than in the past. So I think there's definitely the chance to like actually invest and kind of right the ship. You know, I'm always hopeful with these that they're going to be the best ones. Like the Resident Evil movies, I'm like, I hope the next one's the best one. Because, God, I don't love all these.
So, for the next story, Adam Green finally gave a sort of an update on Hatchet V. And basically what he stated was that he would not do another Hatchet movie working under the current administration of the studio. He does not agree with certain things that they've done, and so that's what it's boiled down to. He said until new management takes over.
Which studio is it?
I'm not sure.
They own the rights, or they just have the
No,
contract?
I think they own the rights or something. But
Yeah, and this is Lynch, right? I mean,
no, Adam Green, huh? Lynch. Hang on, Adam Green. Let's see, Adam Green, Hatchet 5.
I haven't seen any of these movies. They
Really?
have not come highly recommended enough. I mean, are they worth it? Are they fun?
Yeah, no,
I've heard
I
they've
think
got some
the
good
first,
kills.
The first two
I mean, the
are
second
great.
one
The
has that-
third one is fun still. He does a lot of meta versus. So like he has Tony Todd versus anyone versus Victor Crowley is Kane Hodder, right? So he has
Gotcha,
Tony
yeah.
Todd versus Kane Hodder. He has Robert Englund versus Kane Hodder at times. He has a bunch of people.
Okay.
So it's Jason versus Jason versus Candyman, Jason versus this and that, in a meta way. So
Sure.
he says.
I love that Jamie Hart finds a way to talk about Twin Peaks on here.
Oh, so he did this.
There's a
So
big
Love you,
thing
Jamie.
There's a big thing for Twin Peaks right now.
I'm going through it for my very first time. My brother
Are
and
you
I.
going to the thing at Mesa Arts where
I don't know if I'll go to that, but I don't know about that. But
I was really tempted, man. Because
I'm
I
really
love
loving the show. I'm really loving it.
So apparently Adam Green is next directing a shark-themed survival movie called The Ascent. So that's cool. But he says it's always possible for Hatchet 5. I can't get into the minutia of it because it would take up 6 more hours. But the long story short is, once we can make the movie with different entities behind the scenes at the top level, then I'll be interested in doing Hatchet 5. He said, but things need to change.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I
probably
said to you,
enough.
man.
People can make of that what they want. He continues, the creative team is still very much a happy family and would love to do it, but we need to be under new management. Maybe that's the best way to put it. The diplomatic way to put it, I think the old management knows at this
people who
point.
possess the rights
I'm
are
not
assholes,
kidding when I
man.
keep saying I'm not going to do it.
I think
so
what
we'll see
happened.
happens.
I think what happened is that he went to like a party at one of the management's house, and he got sick, and he vomited publicly, and he feels, and he's just like, I'm not gonna deal with those guys. They suck. But that's a shame. That's a shame because I don't know. To create something of your own and then have to, want to wait out the people in charge. That sucks.
Distribution's a motherfucker, man.
So, because David Diggs asked, what's up on the Dylan's New Nightmare physical releases? Well, just this past week, I received the Blu-rays.
Yeah,
so,
you did?
The shipments are already starting to go out to people. I've had the DVDs for a little bit. All those shipments went out, but the Blu-rays finally arrived. They came out phenomenal.
I saw some people posting about them.
Yeah, a couple people posted about them. It's the
Hunting?
2-disc set that I promised everyone. So there's
Actually,
almost
held up
8
on my
hours
clothes.
of content for everyone. So if you ordered a Dylan's New Nightmare Blu-ray, they are making their way out to the backers. So a little bit of patience. It'll take some time to get all of them out because I'm fulfilling all 1,000 orders myself.
The boxes are everywhere, guys.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I've got my copy and it's autographed, so no big deal.
Yeah, it turns out I have 9 more autographed ones to sell at Mad Monster. So.
All right.
All right. So let's move on from the Adam Green Hatchet story, and that is to story number 10, where Mel Brooks has approved a Very Young Frankenstein TV series from the people behind What We Do in the Shadows. So clearly, Young Frankenstein is not strictly a horror movie. It's a comedy set in a horror sort of, environment, so to speak. The Frankenstein...
A horror parody.
Setup, yeah.
It fits.
So that's exactly what We Do in the Shadows is. So What We Do in the Shadows, I very much consider a comedy horror, right? Because it's all about vampires and there's still death and everything, and it's just done through the lens of comedy. Mm-hmm. So I think if anyone were to do a Young Frankenstein TV series, the people behind What We Do in the Shadows would make the most sense. Exactly. Yeah. No, so I'm excited. Yeah. I never watched the original movie, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of Mel Brooks movies. I never saw the Western that everyone talks about.
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
Yeah, and his movies, I would say earlier on, Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, History of the World, they're
I don't think I ever saw History of the World.
They're silly, but there is something about them where there's a sincere way about how they're made and shot. Something like Spaceballs to me is total goofball comedy.
Dude, Tyler, come out!
But what I love about something like Young Frankenstein is he shoots it like one of those movies. He's a really good chameleon. And
Tyler,
I'm hoping that bringing those... I don't know the creative people in What We Do the Shadows, but I do really like guys like Matt Berry, from the IT crowd, right? Isn't he in that one?
I adore.
Isn't a couple of the guys from the IT crowd, right?
Matt Berry's amazing.
Concords guys,
right?
man.
Oh, so it's Concords, and then isn't Matt Berry in there too? Am I wrong?
Jaime,
okay.
all those guys.
So this seems like a good.
Sorry
pair.
to venge into that.
No. It's
you should know about this, Davey.
Well, I've just never seen What We Do in the Shadows, but I've seen.
Have you ever seen Flight of the Concords?
Oh yeah, I love Flight of the Concords. Yeah,
same guys.
Oh, Jermaine is friggin' hilarious in Megan 2.0.
Jermaine is the only redeeming factor in that film.
Oh well, I don't know. Yeah, but I hear you. He's I was cracking up, and I was like, oh no, I'm the only one laughing a lot at this guy.
It's so funny.
I was the only one laughing through a lot of that movie.
It reminded me of those SNL skits where Will Ferrell rolls in on the little thing, and he has a computer as a ring, a
tiny little
How
phone.
fast can you get your
bags packed from the lawn? Yeah,
dude, those
that's what his character.
Those are some of the best breaks in SNL. Those sketches.
Yeah.
The Sean, what's his name? Sean, whatever.
Yeah, the dude from Will and Grace.
Yeah, Sean.
I'm totally forgetting his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I love seeing this, and we don't have to talk about the new Spaceballs thing, but I just love that.
That's awesome too.
I love that Mel Brooks is dude, the guy's 92.
He's 90. No, he's 97.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, he's about to turn 98.
And not only that, but if you watch the full Spaceballs thing that they put out,
the trailer, he has a thing at the
his
end.
little thing, and I'm like, this guy's got fire in his.
Dude, he looks like he's 85.
He is fucking with it.
And he's
still
almost
funny.
100.
He makes a great joke.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is that's just this guy. So I am pumped to see that Young Frankenstein's coming back as well, and I mean, dude. we could always use some good comedy. And I know
Oh,
that
yeah.
like with the way that he handles comedy and the people he hires, they're not gonna hold back. It's gonna be good shit, you know.
Especially
Eli
that scene.
Eli asks, Cecil, do you have the Lucio Fulci zombie comic? I do not. If there is one, I'll definitely need to get it.
Eli sent me that collector's edition. Like out of nowhere, he's
Of
like,
what?
something's coming in the
Collector's edition of
mail.
what?
The Lucio Fulci's. It's a friggin' box. You like pull the comics. Each comic is individually
You got
wrapped.
comics?
Yeah, I
Fuck.
collect comics. I collect comics.
No.
I don't have anything like you.
I literally
You knew that I
covered-
collected comics?
Yeah, dude.
I thought you knew that.
No.
I have like all the Fatal Attractions comics. I have
Am I the only
two
one who
copies.
knows this?
Dude, I have 2 copies of Wolverine #1. Like I'm a
No,
fucking-
but no, I cover horror properties as comics on my TikTok.
Yeah,
That's what I do. So I definitely would need to
Dude,
get some of them. I
There's
didn't
all
know that
sorts
they were.
of goodies in there. It's fucking crazy. The
That's
artwork
cool.
all over is so beautiful.
I'm making my way through all the Night of the Living Dead books. Remember? Like
Yeah.
I'm
I thought you knew.
No,
I thought I
didn't.
told you that.
You
I
might
collected
have.
comics.
You might have. But
Yeah.
You were probably
No,
thinking
I-
about a new idea that you had,
yeah,
right?
it happens a lot.
And you're like, I can't listen to Davey because I'm already like.
I'm in my head about something else. Yeah.
No, but yes.
Well,
No, that's
one
cool.
of
No, I
those
didn't
penises,
know
man.
that, Eli.
That's
So
fine.
no, I
It's
need
gorgeous.
to. I need to get my hands on
I'll
that.
send
so
you
I
some
can,
pictures.
So I can cover it. Oh, pictures? Really?
Well-
you won't loan them to me? Fuck nut.
Well, we live so. I'll bring them
I could have
tomorrow.
swore I maybe loaned you something at one point, but maybe I'm
Tomorrow
wrong.
when I come
Maybe
over
I'm
for the
wrong.
review, I'll
Maybe
bring
I'm
the
wrong.
box.
Maybe I'm
Jiminy
wrong.
Christmas.
This
This guy.
So all right, let's move on to the next
World's
thing.
toughest boss, am I right? Get you a mug.
Yeah, I'll take it. All right, so Tom Rise Harries is cast as Clayface in the upcoming DCU horror film
I have no idea. Who
written
this
by
guy
Mike
is.
Flanagan.
I don't
So,
know who he is either.
I-
Looks very pretty.
It's this
I
dude,
saw his
yeah,
picture.
this
He is
him
a
right here.
very handsome man, and I will
So,
give him that credit.
What I do like about it is that Flanagan did clarify recently that it's the Basil
It's a
Carlo
period,
story.
right?
It's the Basil
It's a period
Carlo.
piece.
Well, I mean, it's like the 50s or 60s or whatever Basil
I
Carlo
mean, it's
was.
not
Yeah.
modern times.
Right.
I like
so,
that.
but it's the Basil Carlo story because there's multiple Clayfaces, and Basil
Oh.
Carlo was always my favorite. He's the actor.
You know how much I
Is
bow
that the one
to,
they
The
show on
animated
the show?
series, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
they
bow
did
to
the animated
Cecil's
series.
knowledge of
Like,
that.
dude, that and
So-
that 1-2 episode, that 2-episode little arc there, the Feats of Clay. Oh my god.
I still have such a fucking badass Clayface story that I would love to write someday. Oh my god, I can't.
Flanagan
But what?
beat
So
you to the
Flanagan
ball.
wrote this one. He's not directing.
He's not
it.
directing it.
So
no.
that's cool because he's already
He was,
directing like 7
he was
things.
originally supposed to do it, but they tossed
Dude,
him
at
on
some
a
point, yeah.
Dude, they tossed him on a rewrite though, which
he's a-
makes me think they were like action.
Well, but
centric,
he's a
like,
hired
whatever.
gun director.
Oh,
too.
thank you for bringing that back, Tyler. Yeah, so Tyler, do come out because all of us, myself, Robert, Susie, like all of us have gotten rooms, and Vin just confirmed to me today that he got an Airbnb nearby. So I'm sure one of us would be able to offer you a place to stay if you wanted to roll out and hang with us for the weekend. So
Absolutely.
Wow, that's
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler's dope. He made the creature for my movie, and he's making the creature for the upcoming thing that you were really excited about, which really fueled our fire, to be honest with you. Your excitement over seeing that little piece of art where you're like, wait, you're doing a film about that guy? And I said, yeah, and it made you super pumped. I was like, that's what the audience is going to feel like when we do
Yeah.
this. So yeah, Tyler, we'll figure out a place where you can hole up for the weekend if you needed to.
Oh, and I see Jaime dropped her very first. I saw that in the theater in the chat. It's gonna happen.
All right, so if it's the Basil Carlo story, so if anyone doesn't know, Basil Carlo is a failed actor who basically has an accident and becomes Clayface and is able to assume the form of anyone that he sees fit, and he starts to he essentially kills one of the most popular actors out there and assumes his place in order to now be one of the most popular actors out there. And that's just one version of the story. There's been a
Yeah,
couple
because
different
it
versions.
seems. I
Yeah.
think the one on the TV show was that he's an aging actor, and it's the way that he can like stay working. So a little bit
Right.
of that substance.
Yeah,
kind
it's
of vibe,
they've
yeah.
done it a few different ways.
Okay, yeah.
But
I do
nonetheless,
love a
it's
tragic villain, man.
Yeah, the
Like, I
tragic
love
villain,
it.
the whole actor thing, being able to morph into whatever he
Yes.
needs to. But when he gets overwhelmed emotionally, he loses his form. Like he'll start to like melt, literally,
Yeah.
like a
It's
candle.
like a Jekyll Hyde.
Yeah, it's such a cool fucking like. So he has to be really careful. No one can get him heated.
Right,
Like
so,
it's really a great idea for a horror movie if you lean into it.
And that's what I wanted to inquire about, man. I mean, you know, James Gunn, obviously, like the ill-opportuned and some like strange sort of situation. looking at me like
No,
we're listening to you.
Yeah.
No, I think it's.
What do you think about this? Sort of.
I mean, I think.
What up, the Destin Station?
Putting it in like the 50s and 60s, I did because they hire an actor that's got like this kind of old timey, He's like a young Robert Redford looking at him on the screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I think that's a cool.
That's true.
If you're gonna do it like in a, like, I think that's a fun way to tell that story. The story can feel noir, and I like when Batman has that kind of detective sort of feel. So yeah, putting it in the 50s, 60s, doing this version from the animated series. I think I've never seen this guy act in a movie, but I would buy it.
Yeah.
I also think that if they wanted to go the opposite way, you hire somebody like Josh Brolin and you make him look younger with the Clayface effect, just because he has that kind of animated series head. But yeah, I think this should be pretty damn fun.
Movie Dutch says, I heard that James Gunn loved Flanagan's Clayface story. Yeah, he said that part of why it was moving forward was because it was a completed script.
Yeah,
and he was happy with it. So,
massive rewrites, though.
Yeah, there ends up being rewrites. Sure. So that
happens
call
all the time,
into question.
Right? Yeah.
I had a Clayface script I was working on a while back. I love the Batman animated series. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, well, let's move on from there because we have to record trailer reactions after we finish the news. Chris Stuckman's Shelby Oaks horror film receives a release date in October.
Yeah, because I know you're gonna like Stux.
Oh, just as I stopped watching him as a reviewer, but I'm really looking forward to this. I hope the movie's as awesome as it can be. I wish
I've heard it's okay. That's
what
I've seen about it so far.
Yeah,
I want to see success because I think it opens up opportunities for other people. I do think to me, Chris Stuckman was a reviewer that I enjoyed for a while until I saw him mischaracterize scenes in a negative review, and I was like, well, that's weird. And then he did this whole thing about Madame Web where he's like, now that I'm a filmmaker, I'm not going to review movies I don't like, which is Chris, you could still just do videos talking about your love of film and not have to review anything. But the fact that you won't review movies you don't like means that by omission you're saying that certain movies are shit. So that's weird. But I hope Shelby Oaks is great. I'm guessing it's just going to be okay.
Yeah, that's
how much can this guy really surprise me? He seems very.
What always
he seems more vanilla than vanilla.
So here's what concerned me
and dude,
about
I was
Stux.
really pulling for him.
Yeah.
What concerns me about, I like that you call him Stux. I'm going to stick with that. What concerns me about Stux is that he's always struck me as a dude that's a bit up his own ass, and I feel like. He thinks that Shelby Oaks will be transformative and he's really bringing something unique.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else, when they finally get a look at it, they're like,
it's a found footage movie.
Looks okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's I think he's a bit more self-important. He comes off, I will say, a bit more self-important than I think he actually is, but we'll see. Maybe he'll prove me completely wrong.
And he's about as middle of the road inoffensive as you can get as far
as giving no observation or
I'm just so how interesting can your movie be? Have you just been holding back for your movie? I don't know. I think it will be run of the mill.
I have a lot more.
It seems like there's a lot of movies that are like this, where they're something strange happened to these people, and 15 years later they're trying to solve it. I've seen a lot of movies that have this sort of we're gonna bring you in with this little hook and the promise of mood and atmosphere, and ultimately it's just gonna be a C+.
Okay, I'm sorry, you just stumbled exactly into where I was going to take this.
You think it's going to be completely wholly unique?
No. You just hit two key words that people associate with someone else.
Mood and atmosphere.
Mood and atmosphere, who is also going to be doing a film very similar to exactly what you just described, is what I'm saying.
But his is based on an actual experience he lived through.
Sure, but it's very exactly like what you described.
But we've seen a lot of these.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's... Some people might think that could be a similarly, self-important thing. I'm saying if they were to look at it with that same lens.
Sure, and I guess that when it comes down to personal tastes and sensibilities, Dave McRae.
I have way more faith in what Dave would do than what Chris has done.
And Dave McRae resonates with me a lot more than Chris Stuckman.
Right. Same.
You know, like I just
Same.
like I
would
and
have
I believe
way more
in-
faith in Dave to accomplish the mood and atmosphere than I think Chris was. But
Yeah,
you used those two
Yes.
terms, and the description was very
Yeah,
similar
well-
to what Dave has described his film.
And I do think there's something about Dave that's like he's so aware of like those little things, those nuances that we love.
Have I made you so uncomfortable you're physically turning away from the camera?
I mean,
No, he's showcasing Dave. Hey,
I
what's
don't
up,
want to
Dave?
argue with you guys, man.
We're not arguing. We're having a healthy discussion.
Yeah, and I think like
Yeah, but that's
well, no, I do think that like I'll say it very plainly. I think Dave is far more capable
I
of
agree.
being a gripping filmmaker than Kristopher.
That I agree with. That's what I'm saying. That was
when
the
Dave
point I was
talks about
making.
movies,
I
I'm like,
actually
I
disagree.
get it. I get
You
it.
disagree.
Dude.
yeah.
And I think Chris's
you
will be
guys
fine.
are like putting friendship in place of.
I only
you
know
haven't-
Dave
okay,
very
okay,
tangentially.
hey,
I've never
hey,
worked
check
with
it out,
him.
check
Like
it out,
I'm a
though.
fan
Check it
for
out,
sure.
Both of you guys have not seen the final product of fucking. And
True.
this is me. You know,
Right.
I like Chris Stuckman, dude. You know, he's.
I don't
he's
di-
funny.
All I'm telling you
started
is,
out
I'm just
saying
telling, all I'm saying is the impression that I've gotten. I'm not speaking for anyone
Yeah.
else. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying the impression I've gotten is a very self-important impression.
That movie sucks. That movie is terrible. Blah blah blah.
I didn't.
was
Who
just-
said that? Neither of us said that at
the,
all.
The very first thing I said is I want there to be success for Chris and the crew because I think this opens up
I was
opportunities for
speaking
other
in
people.
hyperbole, obviously.
You know, I do
Well,
think
it's not obvious when
I-
you say this movie sucks, this movie's terrible, as though we said it. That's not hyperbole. That's
Okay,
misrepresentation.
I still think.
I'm enhancing the vibe and the mood of what you guys were.
Well, yeah, I
you know,
mean,
purporting.
having
so.
not seen Shelby Oaks, if you told me like, hey Davey, you could pitch one of your ideas or sell one of your ideas to either Chris Stuckman or
dude,
Dave
I
McRae,
wanna
I would
see-
pick Dave McRae. Just based on what I've seen, because I haven't seen Shelby Oaks. I've seen what Dave can do.
That's fair.
I've
That's
seen
fair.
that's
Dave has
it's not I don't know
representative
like I don't know
examples.
Dave. Dave, if you watch this after the fact, jump in the comments and be like,
I
I,
am
don't
not-
fucking know this
I
guy.
am not
And in
sucking-
fact, I completely disavow any knowledge
I am
of
not
him.
sucking
No.
Stuckman's cock, man.
No,
I'm just like
but-
challenging a friend of mine.
But I don't know
and
like
I'm just asking.
you guys know Dave. I don't know Dave. I'm just a fan.
No,
but I am
Suckman.
you know but I just think that I would trust Dave, and I think especially with a kind of story like this, I would really want it to have the kind of atmosphere and all that. But maybe Stuckman will surprise me. I hope so. I'm gonna
Tyler
watch
says,
it in the
I've
theater. I'm
seen
gonna go
Chris.
see it in the theater.
Tyler says,
I mean-
I've seen Chris Stuckman films. They are not well written or executed. So I'm curious how this bigger budget film will be like.
Boo-hoo,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well,
I'm sorry,
it's
but
Me
my
Billy or
short film
films.
wasn't that way.
It's-
It's Me
it's-
Billy wasn't that
yeah.
way.
So, but
Like,
whatever. It all
Sweet,
remains to
I
be
mean,
seen. It all
Yeah,
remains
I
to
was
be
in
seen.
Sweet. Like, fuck, dude.
I don't think that was particularly poorly written. Like I thought we executed that fine for $2,000.
I did.
But all right, that's fine. I mean,
Guys, I'm
you
new
wanna-
to the team.
You want to diss the
I don't
movie
know
you
what
were
to
the
say.
star in? Oh, I thought you were saying that Sweet was like
no,
poor, like
no,
Chris Stuckman's
no.
films were or something. I thought.
You know what we
I
should do,
misunderstood that.
guys? We should do a short film sponsored by White Claw.
Oh God.
You're laughing about what I particularly like to drink.
No! Oh my God,
I'm bringing it back to Sweet Revenge.
It's not
I'm trying to
all
do
about-
I'm trying to do callback jokes and keep things light.
I'm not even around my lady who loves White Claws.
Oh,
dude.
I'll drink them all, dude. I'll drink them all.
Damn, how much?
I just
how
don't
much
want
are they
Jason
on
to be
Diablo Kid
sponsored by
DVD,
them.
Eli? I
I
don't
feel
know.
you there, man.
I'll have to see how much that would cost. I don't know if I can afford it. All right, so let's see. Personally, I don't think we should be hating on anyone from the community who gets a break. No, I agree, Jamie. Like
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
if Stuckman
That's the
if
point I
Stuckman
was
makes
trying to make.
all I'm saying, look, I'm not wishing him poorly. You guys are maybe getting the wrong impression. All I am saying is
Movie
literally
may suck,
all
dude.
Never said that.
I said I have
Fake
heard
news.
it's okay. I never said suck at all. That's you putting those
me.
words into my
Yeah,
mouth.
I'll own it.
Like I
This movie
said,
may
I've
suck.
heard it's okay. Like that. That's it. And then I said the impression I've gotten from Chris from his freaking YouTube channel is that he's a bit self-important. There's nothing wrong with me saying I've gotten
Is
that
it because
impression.
he's
I'm
a
not
Mormon?
saying he 100% is.
No.
I'm not
Because
saying
he's a
I'm
Mormon.
right. No,
I
he
had
broke
idea.
away from the
I
whole
had no
church.
idea. Oh
No,
my
he
gosh.
broke away
Makes
from
a
the
lot of
church.
sense.
He talks a lot about how and why
I've
he broke
seen-
away from the church.
Yeah,
I am
that-
not
that
talking
stuff
down
doesn't
about
really,
him.
man.
Yeah.
I am just saying
from back
that's
to
the
back.
impression that I got from him. I hope it's good because it means great things for other YouTubers trying to get into the space.
Agreed.
I've been saying that.
Yeah.
But I also,
Well, and
I'm going to be honest and say I got a self-important vibe off the dude for years. Like, I'm sorry, but that's...
he seems a little.
I'm not saying I'm right. That's just the vibe I've gotten off him.
He
He's
seems
so
a
good.
little detached for having. I mean, he's achieved great success on YouTube, but nothing beyond that. So yeah, I agree with
one
you
of
there.
the old
And I
schoolers,
name dropped
man.
you in my. I covered this as a video on my channel, and I name dropped Cecil because I was like. I mean, the Talk to Me guys we've seen come from YouTube. Now Stuckman's getting an opportunity, and I was like, my buddy Cecil is always saying, a rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I would never want anyone in any kind of production to, oh, your movie sucks. Like, those people worked hard. Like he put something together regardless of whether or not the movie, like, works for any one of us, it's amazing what they've accomplished. Doubling the budget by getting Flanagan and Neon on board so they can actually finish their movie in the way they intended, and having a theatrical release is a fucking achievement. So,
Okay.
But yeah, I still don't expect it to be better than a C+, but I'm gonna go in like hoping it rocks my fucking socks off.
So here, I'm gonna be 100% like forthright with you guys. I always have been honest on this channel. I will always be honest on
man.
this channel. I will always give my actual thoughts on it. Sometimes to the detriment of myself with, responses to what I say.
Sure.
And if that happens, it happens. But I'm not denigrating anyone here. I am just saying that's the vibe I've gotten off him. I hope it does well. I have heard, all I've said is I've heard it's just okay. But, that doesn't mean it can't do well. And I think Dave McRae's movie can do very, very well. And this is me.
People love these
This is
kinds
me
of movies.
continuing to be honest with everyone. What I am very curious about is once Bracer gets underway, like Dave McRae and Chris Stuckman are both making films that mean a lot to them. Like it's something that they have like had in their chest for years, and they're finally getting it out there. Bracer I've had on deck since I'm 30, so I've had it in my mind for 14 years. But
When I
it's
first
never
met
been.
you-
It's never.
dude,
Yeah.
when I first met you,
That's what
you
I'm saying.
Showed me that script.
But it's never been anything more than what I think is going to be a really fun, entertaining slasher.
Sure.
And so what I'm curious about is once that's out there, like if they all get released in their own rights, like I'm very curious as to what the audience will actually go for. You know what I mean? Sometimes they want the personalized stuff, but sometimes people just respond more to the fun, good slasher stuff. So,
Absolutely.
but there's a place for it all, right?
Yes.
That's ultimately
Yeah.
the point that needs to be made. There's a place for it all.
I mean, when I was playing
Yeah.
music, like when I was regularly like recording and producing and writing and playing all that kind of stuff.
Guys, we're
like,
stuck on number 12.
What's funny is like this when we would play a show, the song that maybe you just like didn't think much of, you would have a lot of people come up and be like, "Oh, I love this song,"
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah,
"Wow,
that
that's
connected.
the one you love."
Yeah.
And then you talk to your bandmates and you're like, "So the people really like this one," and we're just like, "Whatever."
All right, well.
Like the other ones feel so much better. So I do think, like to your point, Cecil, sometimes it's like, you never know. You do something that maybe is just a great idea that's not as personal. And it connects with an audience where you're like, I didn't even know that I could have those people.
Like, I'm sorry,
But
but
here they are.
I doubt Terrifier was Damien Leone bearing his soul. You know what I mean? Like,
God, I hope not.
So, like, sometimes that's just what people want.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and it's
And you have
it's,
to lean into it.
It's kind of half unfortunate too. Like it's half not unfortunate because audience members get what they like. It's half unfortunate because the real soul-searching personal stories don't do as well.
It's
and
the
in a
business side takes
fair
over.
art world,
Yeah.
right. In a fair art world, those would do as well. But you
it's
can't
business.
argue with the audience.
Yeah, it's show
more
business.
people will show up to see the other stuff. And so that's just the way it is. That's not to say that the personal stories are bad by any stretch, and I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is there's something different for everyone, and there's room for us all to have different opinions. Dave might say Bracer is not his kind of thing. Stuckman might very well
Dave would go,
your slasher is not for me. I'm not
gonna
take personal offense because of that. My stuff is not going to be for everyone. You know what I mean? So
so the cool thing about that though too is sometimes early on in a career you'll find that people get an audience hooked with an idea that isn't theirs, that is maybe more accessible, like more palatable, and then you bring those people in, and then you can do something. Your second or third project, you do something like even weirder, and people are like, "Oh, because you have to bring that fish on board, and then you bare your soul."
That's what
to bare your
DNN
soul
was.
right
That's what DNN
away.
was. I had to hook them. I had to bring them in.
I think that's the whole thing about the art versus the business. The people that end up finding success like in show business, whether it's movies or music, there's a compromise there, or just an awareness of like, man, I have all these great ideas, but maybe for my first thing, I gotta like play to the crowd and bring them in. Then I show them my really cool shit, and they're like, whoa,
yeah.
Like, and I think that's the way to go.
Well, and people shouldn't take people shouldn't take offense for Chris. Stuckman has already won. His movie has been picked up by Neon. It's being released widely. Like, that's a massive
He makes
win.
a living off of his channel.
Like,
which
it
is
doesn't.
awesome.
It's not a movie that needs to make a bunch of money to make back its budget. Like,
Okay.
he's already been paid by Neon to recuperate the budget, I guarantee.
Yeah.
But the fact that his first movie, his first full-length feature, I suppose, I haven't seen his shorts, is getting a full, wide theatrical release via Neon. That's a win. That's a win.
Yeah.
So, like, nothing
Neon
I can
is
say.
amazing.
Me saying that I feel like he's been self-important is not taking away anything from that success. You know what I'm saying? So, like, again, it's not to try and denigrate
We're
anyone.
stuck on
It's
number
just-
12.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on. All right, so
Wish him all the best. Hire me,
story
Chris.
number 13 might go by pretty quick here. So Konami reveals that they're doing a remake of the original Silent Hill. Bloober team, actually, that did the remake of Silent Hill 2 is now going back and remaking Silent Hill 1. Don't know quite why they did it that way, except that Silent Hill 2 is sort of a favorite in the franchise and they wanted to start there. But, okay, fine. Like, I played the Silent Hill 2 remake. I never played any of the Silent Hills original, so I love the Silent Hill 2 remake. And I will absolutely play the Silent Hill 1 remake now.
Yeah, I was saying,
Oh shit. Yeah. So Fuego, are you into the Silent Hill games at all?
No,
Why don't you
I
aim
was
towards the
more
microphone?
Of a
I'm just grabbing a
Resident,
beer. It's not a beer.
Okay. All right.
I was more of a Resident Evil sort of guy. So, Resident Evil.
Oh my god, Resident Evil 4 is the greatest game of all time.
Resident
But
Yeah, I was about to say, no, Code Veronica, man.
Code Veronica.
Code Veronica is my personal favorite of all of those games.
I think it's like I love that they're doing these remakes though, because man, like the ones that
Bring it
I've
up.
played
Bring it
from
up.
Resident Evil, like especially with 4, I didn't think anything could top the original Resident Evil 4. But when I played the remake, I was like, this is fucking better.
Yeah.
Like, and it's everything I love.
The fight with
trim
the little
some of
dude was
trim
a
some
lot
of the
better.
fat.
Mhm.
It's everything I loved about the original. It didn't cut the legs out from under it, and it was a wholly unique experience. It was like I knew I was playing a remake, but they surprise you with some of the moments, so you don't always know how to react. So
it was just like meandrous and
No.
Four is not much
4 and
survival.
2 are the favorites of the franchise.
Like,
4 and 3
Four-
came out like right around the same time.
4 is the first one to have the third person
Yeah,
above
4 was the first
character
Leon,
action.
right?
Leon, it's his second appearance, I think, right?
Yeah, because he was in 2.
And then, but it's not as much survival unless you play professional mode than it is survival.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more action.
Obviously,
heavy.
no professional.
But I am not I'm an old school gamer like Castlevania and stuff. So when I made the leap to like newer systems, I actually liked how friendly Resident Evil 4 was to somebody that's not used to fucking 2 joysticks. And I think Konami is an amazing company. Contra and Castlevania, I think, are 2 of the strongest franchises in video game history.
Amen.
And I love that they're actually, because Konami for a while they're like, we're only going to do phone games and stuff like that. The fact
Yeah,
that they've
saw that.
revealed a remake of Resident Evil or Silent Hill, I'm like, all right, well maybe they realize there's some value in doing real fucking games.
Yeah, I think they
Excuse
have.
my language, folks. But yeah, the thing about this is everyone that grew up playing these games can replay them, and they're gonna give you new surprises. I guarantee it.
All right, so that being said, let's move on to story number 14.
I'm not always negative. It's just don't bring up Stuckman. No, I'm just-
So apparently, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes Organic Intelligence is surprise releasing this Halloween. A whole new, the fifth, apparently, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes movies. I've never seen any of the originals, so I have
Not even with.
I know Clooney was in the second one, right?
Yes,
Return?
Yes, Revenge of the
Revenge,
Killer
okay.
Tomato.
Nope, never seen any of them.
Or why?
I've seen
What up,
From Dusk
Cobra
Till
Kai?
Dawn. No, yeah, I don't know. These are supposed to be
really
funny.
hoping Davey might have seen it, but
No, and the TV show, the cartoon, was like
I do remember
waningly
that.
popular when I was a child, but never really popped off.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
But I guess I was like, what is this, trauma for kids?
Yeah, really, that's
Like-
what it seemed like to me.
Well, it totally was.
It just seems like really, like what? I don't know. How is this entertaining me? But
I don't know.
I was the
amused.
I was the
was
fifth
not-
of 5
like,
kids, so by the
moderately
time I
amused.
was 6, I was watching horror movies. Seeing Attack of the Killer Tomatoes as a kid, I was like, well, I've already like watched the
You're ahead
Halloween
of the
movies.
curve. Bless you, sir.
Bless
Well, it looks like one of us is excited about this, so there you go. All right, let's move on to story number 15. A24 is adapting Edgar Allan Poe's The Mask of the Red Death, with Mikey Madsen in talks to star in dual roles. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but I don't know this story that well. I don't know what happens in it, so I could
Well-
not tell you
Well, I do
whether
know
it's
Mikey
exciting or not.
Madison, man, and
I didn't watch Enora yet, so
fucking Nora. She is.
Oh.
I don't watch
Damn.
movies about prostitutes. Pretty Woman and Honora are off the list.
fair enough.
She's not very good in Honora.
Wasn't she nominated for awards?
She won.
Yeah, but
She won
But
the
she
Oscar.
wasn't very
She
good?
won the Oscar.
In
I
my
bet she wasn't
estimation,
It
very
won
nice.
Best Picture, I think.
Yeah, in my estimation, I saw, dude, I saw every other nominee, and she was the least in my estimation.
No, wait, she won for Scream 5. Sorry.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah,
No,
she
so
did.
I covered this on the channel a few weeks ago, and it was like
Bring it up.
my whole thing was like when I dove back into the story before I went live with it because I was like I want to learn about this. Like I like his work. I don't think I've read the story,
Yeah.
but it seems like it's an allegory for like dealing with the plague, and
Damn, Dutch says she should have won a Razzie. Holy shit.
And in the original story, it's about like this prince that brings in all the aristocrats into his house, and they have a party during this plague. And then in each room of the castle has a different theme, and it's a masquerade party. And what they're dealing with, the plague, is called the Red Death. And the way the story ends, the original Edgar Allan Poe story, is that there's this visage going through all the rooms, and it's dressed as the Red Death. At the end of the story, the main character like goes to take off the mask, and there's like nothing there, and then he gets killed, and everyone else starts getting killed. But it sounds like with this one, they're setting it up to where she's gonna be she'll be the princess instead of the prince or whatever role they want to give her, and there's gonna be like a dual role. And it doesn't sound like it's
Well
gonna be
analyzed,
as
man.
supernatural.
Yeah.
It seems like it's gonna be a little more grounded.
That's a bummer. I love Supernatural.
But that's what my thing too is. I was like, I kind of like
Damn.
the movies or stories that leave you asking questions at the end. Who knows? Maybe they'll change it. This was just the Bloody Disgusting story that I read said that it was going to be a memeable movie for the TikTok generation.
Oh God, what
That was like a quote
Wow.
they used
What a
where I was like,
Jeez.
and I
What
like
a clip,
I
dude.
did my news thing live, and when I read that because I didn't read,
Yeah,
I
saw
hadn't
it
read the
on
whole
Tik-
art. I was like,
saw it on Talkies, yeah.
I'm like, dude, fucking TikTok, no.
A24 though, A24 and TikTok don't seem like they'd be good bedfellows.
I was like, so they're basically telling no, TikTok isn't sponsoring it. They just want it to be a meme.
no,
Yeah.
I understand. That's what I'm
And-
saying. It feels antithetical to
Yeah.
A24's.
I'm like, so you
whole
don't want me
thing.
to watch it?
Yeah, but they're still trying to gain coverage, man. And
Yeah.
yeah,
But I do think like
Sure.
post stories are fucking awesome. Like they are still really good. Like these, and there are good ways to reinvent these. And if you have somebody like her on board, I think she's pretty good. Till that last act of Scream 5.
All right, well, there's that. Let's move on to the final story, shall we?
Yeah, I was about to say. I have to.
I'm still waiting for the Raven with Kristopher Walken.
All right, so Resident
Never
Evil
more.
9 Requiem was announced,
Yeah.
and at Summer Games
IGN,
Fest.
let it out, man.
Super exciting because
I know,
we are
you
going back to Raccoon City. The picture above is the destroyed Raccoon City after the bomb was dropped at the end of the first game.
Yeah.
So super fucking exciting to see that. When I
Cecil
watched
and
the
Marcia
reveal,
actually talking about it.
yeah, when I watched the
group
reveal trailer and they showed the big city with a giant crater, I was like, is that fucking Raccoon City? And then they showed the Raccoon City PD, but like it's mostly destroyed. That's the Raccoon City PD building. So that's the building that was featured in Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3.
Gotcha.
Actually 2 and 3. 1 was the mansion.
Yeah.
2 and 3 was the police station. So that's the same location that many of us Resident Evil old heads absolutely adore, and the fact that we're going to be able to explore it post like explosion is going to be so dope. Like what kind of nasty critters are going to be around there now after the radiation and shit. So I am supremely excited. Everyone is guesstimating that Leon is supposed to be coming back. They haven't confirmed or anything yet.
I thought they said he was like too tough or whatever. Like,
they've confirmed a young woman who is the daughter of a character from one of the past
Leon
games.
too tough? Wait,
I
who
don't
said
think so.
Leon was too tough?
he was much more.
He's so pretty.
Chris was super over the top.
Chris
tough in the
Redfield.
last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Leon's been tough, but he's very pretty.
Yeah, he's still pretty boy, pretty much.
Oh yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to get with him?
Jess.
Who doesn't want to get with Leon? Right here. Huh? As long as Florence Pugh's there.
So we'll see. All right,
Or
Eli,
something.
thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. We're going to wrap it up here in a second anyway, so you're not going to be missing much.
Take care, Eli.
But yeah, I am super excited. Have you played any Resident Evil in a long time or anything like that?
I think the last one that I played was 6. With Leon,
the last
purple
fucking
one with
big
Leon.
action
It
one.
got really frustrating
The least horror Resident Evil of them all.
And like I had fun playing 5. I thought that was like a fun.
What up,
like,
Super Tenor,
adventure
Super
game.
Chat? What up, gang? Good to see you.
Hey, Super Tenor. Yeah, but I mean, Resident Evil 4 is my favorite game of all time.
Wow.
So,
wow, okay.
like I would say,
Las Plagas.
Dude, I mean,
previous even before like Code Veronica.
oh, it's well, and I haven't played every single one as much, but that
love
one,
Code Veronica
dude, I would
so
say it's
much,
like,
man.
If you didn't have a Dreamcast, you didn't play Code Veronica until like years later on PlayStation.
I owned the
so-
Dreamcast.
I know,
and
me too.
loved
It
Code
was
Veronica.
like I agree, dude. I'm on your side. I love Code Veronica.
top 3 of all time. Twilight Princess, original Castlevania, Resident Evil 4,
Interesting.
remake.
See, I'll take Castlevania 4 because it's the
Oh, I love Super
16-bit
Castlevania
remake
4,
of
yeah.
the original Castlevania.
Yeah.
I like
So,
Castlevania
Love that one.
3 where you can change around the characters and you
That's
can
cool
be
too.
the little
Yeah.
hopper.
Yeah.
dude, I'm like 6 hours into the 7-hour and 40-minute history of Castlevania YouTube video.
Oh yeah, I played a video
Really?
game or
Yeah,
whatever. The
dude,
retrospective. I sent you that.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I'm like
It's
I'm on
amazing.
hour 6.
Yeah, it's
of
amazing.
7 and 40 minutes.
So yeah, I guess
it goes through every single Castlevania game and how it
In
evolved
in chronological
and everything.
order of
I'm like
release.
sitting
It's
here
so
thinking about
engaging.
where is my life gonna go?
But
because I have like Borderline that I rented with Samara Weaving, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch this movie.
no, just play.
Well, they
Cast-
talk heavily about Symphony of the Night. Every time I hear about Symphony of the Night, I think of you because you talk about how much you liked it.
And I would pick 4 over the original. The original just sticks out to me.
Well, and
above
I
any
had the
other
Super
time.
Four is
Nintendo, and I
fucking
played
awesome.
4
I
I
so
love
many
dude.
times.
The control of Simon is like where it's at.
It was the first time you could
8-degree
whip
whipping,
anywhere. Yeah,
and you can
Yes,
change your
yes,
direction when
yes.
you jump.
and
Yes.
the whole stages would shift, right? You whip
Yeah.
onto something and it would all rotate around you.
Yeah.
And being
Fucking
able to use your
awesome.
special weapon with the trigger.
Yeah, dude.
Quite magnificent.
That is one.
That's the
You know, I
first
need to
time when
check
I
and
first
see.
met you, Davey Deathray.
Is
I
that
was
on?
just like,
Is that on
You're
the?
a Castlevania man.
Yes.
Hey, does anyone know if Castlevania 4 is on the Super NES Switch like online thing? Because if so, I'm gonna play that motherfucker tonight.
No, but you can get the Konami Castlevania collection.
Oh, really?
And it's got all of those. It's got so
I've never played through Symphony.
It's got 1, 2.
Or like Echoes
He's
of
talking
Despair,
about
Symphony
like,
isn't
oh,
on
no,
that.
Aria
and
of
so-
Sorrow.
They did one that was 1, 2, 3, 4
Yeah.
Bloodlines from the Genesis.
Okay.
And then Kid
Yeah.
Dracula from the
I
Game
definitely
Boy.
never played Bloodlines.
But
I
you can
just
get Symphony
ordered.
of the Night.
I just
I'm sure you can
reordered
order it.
Bloodstained because I played Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon. I finally the first time I played it, it was too hard for me. But they added like an adventure mode where it's like easier, and if you die, you restart at the most recent room.
Yeah.
So like I played through it, and I don't know if they did that for the real Bloodstained, but I just ordered it on Xbox again because I sold that shit back. I did not get very far into the game. I sold it back. But when I played Curse of the Moon and they had that new mode, I'm like, oh, maybe the other one does too. But Now that I've played Hollow Knight for the first time, which is a really tough one, I think I can handle Bloodstain now. So I'm excited to play through it.
It's really fun.
Yeah,
I love the.
We should do some Let's Plays.
I love
sometime,
the 16-bit, 8-bit graphics that they use. You know,
we should do some Let's Plays of some old school games.
Oh, dude, I love that shit. Yeah.
Right on, guys. Well, there you go. There is a Castlevania game on the SNES Switch Online, so that might be Castlevania 4. I gotta double check.
The collection comes with like 6 games.
That's awesome. Fuck.
And then I think there's a second collection that has like Symphony of the Night and some of the DS games.
They revealed, by the way, at Summer Games Fest, they revealed a new Bloodstain game, which is a more beefed up side-scrolling version where it's like more cinematic. I'll show you the trailer afterwards. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and call the news with booze here. What a wacky episode. I mean, you had one of us facing the wrong direction for most of it, but... it was a fun time. The chaos of the news with booze continues. Thank you, Davey, for joining. I think this is
we're wild over here, guys.
Second news with booze, but the first time I was able to get you in the thumbnail. So
well, and maybe my third, but my second as an official member.
Right. Truth. All right, so guys, we're gonna take a little bit of a break after this, and then we're gonna record a reaction roundup. There are 21 new trailers to react to.
Wow.
Maybe it'll be a 2-person reaction instead of a 3-person. We'll see how Fuego feels in a couple of minutes.
And can I show my channel for a sec?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, guys, I've got.
All right, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll talk to you later.
No, just click the button without telling me that you've stopped streaming. And then I do it and I check it out later. I'm like, oh,
son of a bitch.
Lone tier. Yeah, guys, I've got a channel, Davey Deathray. Hopefully, I'm somewhere in the description. I'm only 12 away from hitting 1,500. So if you guys enjoy the horror show channel and you like the kind of vibe, check out the Davey Deathray channel if you're not subscribed already. If you hate me later, you can totally unsubscribe. I wouldn't hold it against you.
I can make you a preferred.
I'm so close.
I haven't made you a preferred channel. I need to switch up our preferred channels on the channel too.
But yeah, guys, I go live all the time. I've been doing movie reviews. I do shorts, all that kind of fun stuff. And if you dig what we do over here at the horror show channel, it's just a little bit different over there.
Dutch says Fuego needs to be there, so you got to do the trailer reactions with us.
All right, he's back.
All right, thank you guys. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate it. Bloober Team are bringing out Kronos: A New Dawn. Would love to see you guys' reaction to the trailer. It's coming. Oh yeah, Kronos, that does look dope. It looks like a fucking brand new Dead Space game by the Bloober Team. It looks so good. I agree, Cobra Kai. That's dope. Yeah. No, I'm excited about that too. Game over, man. Savannah, good to see you. Thank you, everyone in chat. Hugh Janus, especially. Love seeing that name out there. Wampus, good to see you. It's supposed to be a Souls-like. Yeah. Anyway, I love everyone in chat that takes place. Keep an eye out for the reaction roundup. I don't think we'll do that live. I think we'll record that and pop it up maybe tomorrow morning. Yeah. I am seeing Jurassic World tomorrow night with Mahalo, who is going to be doing a review for the first time on the channel in a while. So, and Davey might be coming down to join us for the review, whether it be in person or remotely. We'll try and get him on it. You haven't seen it yet, right? Or did you go the other night? Okay, so do you want to join remotely too, or do you want to come down? Because Davey was going to come down. Okay, we can talk about it later, I guess. All right, guys, thanks very much. Yeah, thanks very much for watching.
It was the first time it was ever.
Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
And I'm Davey Deathray.